Hello, viewer. Today it is Sunday, April the 14th, 2024. I am Mr. Broon, and I trust you are all doing very well today. On this evening's live stream, we are discussing the latest news in the entertainment. And on the social media, it was a week where shite happened in Hollywood, and even more bad shite happened in real life. Yay! World War III, folks, just around the corner. Yay! Can't wait. So, as I always say, if you've not shut down for the evening, lots to get through. Shall we get those guests out? You know it. Let's do it. Okay, so first up, from a VPN far, far away, he is the golden reach around droid of choice. It is. Z3PO.
I
Yeah.
don't want to set the
World
world on fire.
fire.
Hello, Brown. If a song's good enough for Ruin, it's good enough for me.
Hello, Z. How are you?
Hello there. I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to tonight's show.
Is the bomb shelter stocked up with tin
Oh,
products?
yes, I've got plenty of oil, plenty of lube, and plenty of nuts.
It's just around the corner, folks. It's
Plus
great
half
to
a
have you on,
dozen-
my friend.
Plus half a dozen bum toys. Shall we get the next guest on?
Bum toys and lube, that's all you need, my friend.
It is, for a good time.
Great to have you on. Shall we get let's get the next peep on, yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, she's back, folks. My favourite, chat's favourite, everybody's favourite. It is... I'm Boomerang, Fakes, Electronica.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to point out you don't need lube when you have the tears of a nuclear fallout to wet your toys with.
There's going
That's
to be
all.
plenty of those.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
How are you both?
Very good,
Not
thank
bad,
you, Mistress
not bad.
Vex.
Just, yes, not bad. Have
Good
you
to hear.
stocked the bomb shelter up?
No, I'm just going in raw, boys. It is what it is.
It's just around the corner, folks. It is
She's a
great to have you on,
survivor.
Vex. Shall we
Always a
get...
pleasure.
We're up against it tonight. Should we get the next peep on?
Yes.
Okay. He's the number one YouTube supermod and my promotions manager, and he's pretty damn good at it too. Melvin Deeply.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How
Hi,
the
How
hell
are
are we
you?
doing?
Hello there.
Hello there.
Guten Abend.
How's the bomb shelter stocked?
Oh, I got a can of beans.
A can of beans.
Well, you got to
That's all
start
you
somewhere.
need.
No,
all you
I
need.
expect I'm going to be one of them people eating all the other people. I
Much
have
like
certain,
one of our programs this evening. Yes. Very
I have
good.
a certain skill set.
Promotions. Brilliant.
Cannibalism.
Cannibalism. So it's the same as a can of beans, except it's can of something else.
Cannibalism and capitalism.
And I would like to add something to the lube debate.
Mm?
You don't need lube at all if you have all the STDs I've got.
You can go in dry as well.
Are they
Melvin,
pussing? What?
Mel-
Hold on.
No. Melvin,
There's always
it's great. Oh dear. Melvin, it's great to have you on, mate. We are up against it. Should we get the
I'll
next
shut up
peep
now.
out? Yes. Okay. Look who it is, everybody. We see the good inside our next guest making a return. Dark Sith Lord, Little Platoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. My
Hello.
internet is running at like 2 megabytes upload. So if I just robot out at any point, everything is
It's
going
fine, mate.
wrong
We can hear you. Don't
technologically.
worry. Yeah.
Goodo, that's
How
good
did
then.
the premiere go? Pretty good.
Not too bad, yeah. Nice little average number for
Was it
a complete garbage film that no one is ever going to watch again. I think it
1600-ish?
was about that for a short video by my standards. So yeah, it could have been worse.
What, sub 2 hours? That's amazing.
I know. Prove to myself that it's still possible to do that. No, I wasn't going to spend any longer than that on a film like Godzilla X Kong.
There you go, folks. So, other than that, you're well, my friend.
I am good, thank you.
They're all here to see you, my friend. Should we get the next peep out?
No.
Okay. Yeah, bollocks to him. Okay. And last, but by no means least, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He's a great mega geek himself. Ian David Diaz. Hello.
It's shit. There you go. I said it before they said it.
Before saying hi, even.
Yeah, exactly. How's everybody? Okay. Yeah.
Good,
Oh,
good. How
it's
about you?
Not bad.
I'm all right.
They're all
I'm
coming in.
Yeah, there you
No,
go.
no other guest has this
Well,
reaction.
I was going to say, what happened to the princess Fiona? Is she coming back on
Fiona will be, Sunday is a bad day for her. Busy,
Right.
busy, busy.
Mm.
She will be joining Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
So yes.
Mm.
So there you go. Have you stocked the bomb shelter up?
The what? Huh?
The nuclear bomb shelter. Have you
The
stocked
bum
it up?
shelter.
Oh, yeah.
That's Z's shelter, the bomb shelter. Ah,
Anybody got any drinks with them? Because I'm drinking alcohol tonight. So
Nice
I'll-
cup of tea.
okay.
alcohol. That's what I'm.
What are you drinking?
JD.
Oh, nice.
I'm the JW.
Mm.
Johnny
Good for
Walker.
you.
Yes, Johnny Walker.
What's everybody drinking in the chats? Okay, so it is great to have you on, folks. Shall we get some? Shall we get the presentation going?
Get it going.
Okay, I will say good evening, chat. We can see you. Hello, hello. Okay, let's get some slides up.
It's great. You know who is here for almost probably their first ever Brown stream because they're not moderators. I've just noticed this. This is how you can tell who are the newcomers and who are not.
Yes, hello, non-wrenches. You are very welcome. Great to see you. So there you go. Lots of new faces. Okay, let's get this shit show on the road. Episode 197, 200 is approaching. Musings, Sunday, April 14, the year of our Lord, 2024. Cheers. Please like, share, subscribe. Very important. My subs are just stationary. Please donate the channel if you're that way inclined. Okay. So, two big things this week, I feel. This is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fallouts. Who would like to go first? Should we do ladies first?
Sure.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Z, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You go ahead. I'm completely unfamiliar with this game series. I know what.
Oh.
I think we
Pip-Boy
all are.
is.
We all are. I think.
Yeah, Fallout's the one franchise I've never played. I've been meaning to, but it just hasn't happened. So, just as a show, I think this is pretty great. It's a bit. It hooked me from episode 1. I felt that it has a big tone shift in episode 4 throughout the last till the end of the 8. And I think that's partially because Jonathan Nolan is no longer directing, which he should not.
Spoilers, folks, by the way.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
We'll try
by
and
the
keep
way.
the spoilers to a minimum, shall we?
Yes. Okay, I'll try. But I see a lot of people saying that it's good. I see a lot of people trying to point out that it's woke. It's woke. There's nothing woke about this. Like, this is objectively pretty good. It doesn't push an agenda over characters or story. I think if anything, it just struggles to find its footing here or there. But by episode 4, it just kind of takes off and it knows what it is for sure. So
Yep.
the women are women, the men are men. There's no issues of, well, I mean, there's a trans person in there, but they don't shove that in your face kind of deal,
No.
right? But I quite enjoy this. I binged this in like 12 hours.
Very good.
Yeah.
8 hours of programming in 12 hours.
Yeah, I
Very
fell
good.
asleep for a bit.
And then woke up and did the rest.
Yep.
Z?
Yeah, well, as I said, completely unfamiliar with the game. I know what a Pip-Boy is, and I recognise the bobblehead, but this is only because my son owns them. Other than that, I went into this completely blind, and I was impressed. Well, apart from the motivation for the war, which is bloody stupid. Other than that, I thought it was very well thought out. And if they're ever thinking of recasting Kang the Conqueror, the guy who plays Maximus would be a perfect choice.
Oh.
Or Denzel Washington's son.
No, God, no. That kid can't act.
No, he looked like him, like a young Denzel Washington. But anyway, Melvin, you've seen a couple episodes?
Just episode 1. It's good so far. I like how it looks. It looks pretty close to the game. You get the kind of feel of the games from the look of it. And yeah, I enjoyed the first episode. I liked particularly the few minutes with Walton Goggins as
Walt Goggins, brilliant.
Red Skull.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought some of the people were really stupid, like the characters in the shelter, but it's based on a video game, and if everybody's smart, then you're not going to have a story. Because every story requires stupid people to do stupid things to carry it along.
Can you give an example, perhaps?
Yeah.
Like the way everybody was walking around confused while they were getting murdered when they should have maybe been fighting back or something.
I feel like that's more of an issue with who was directing that episode, because the action gets better when Jonathan Nolan is not behind the camera.
Well, maybe, but I've only seen the one episode, and I thought that bit was really stupid.
Yeah, that's why episode 4, it gets so much better, because I don't think Jonathan Nolan knew what he was Westworlding it, basically, those first 3 episodes. And when he steps away, it finally gets better. It knows what it is. The action gets better. The acting gets better. The emotion gets better. Everything gets better.
I make allowances for something that's a video game. It's like you don't expect The Godfather, so yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah,
it's good.
Lord,
it's what it's supposed to be.
Lord, have you seen any episodes?
I've seen all of it. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm slightly. I mean, I did not hate it, but I am definitely cooler on it than it sounds like everybody else here is. I actually don't make affordances like, well, it's just a video game adaptation, therefore certain things are just accepted. I don't think there's any reason to do that. It might be a video game adaptation, but as is quite well established by the end of the show, it's deviated quite wildly from what the story of the games is, at which point it ceases to be much of an adaptation at all. It's still trying to do what any TV show is trying to do, and I think it should be judged just as we would judge any other TV show. So flaws in this show are flaws that you would pick out in anything else. It's believable that some people are stupid, but there's sort of a rule in writing, which is it's like luck. Stupidity can only really act against your main characters. Otherwise, all that you do is just effectively recreate the problem of fortuitous good luck driving things along. And that's always going to be unsatisfying. So there's a few things across the first few episodes. That's definitely one of them. The first episode in particular, I think, probably was one of the hardest ones to get over, simply because there was so much of the stupidity. Like you get when the vault dwellers from the other vault come in, and there's no radiation checks on these people, so of course they don't realize that these people are things. Also, they wouldn't recognize any of them because they do communicate with each other, but that's not an issue either. They only realize that one of them's radioactive and so a bad man very fortuitously when the plot needs them to. Then, as you say, most of them should absolutely have died and just don't because funny. I think that's what the thing that the show's really trying to do, and that's the thing that works against it, is it lets its humor get in the way of the sense it's trying to make. And you can have both of these things. You can have a perfectly sensible show, and you can also have humor. You don't have to have stupidity ruining the stakes of any action scene, which episode 1, I think, in particular, does. It does get better when it's in the scenes themselves. It's usually that it uses stupidity to try and manufacture a pretense to move between scenes. There's a scene when Maximus, the night guy, is out of his armor, and he's being beaten up, and they shove him into his armor to carry on beating him up. And it's like, this is just ridiculous. What the fuck is going on? Obviously, this has just been done to manufacture the next scene, and it didn't need to happen that way. That stuff's annoying. Gatling guns firing at people from 5 feet away that just don't hit them, even though they're firing 4,000 rounds a second. That stuff's annoying. They don't do distance well at all. Like, you have no sense of travel time, travel distance. They all fortuitously bump into each other in the middle of deserts. Like, there's all this bad stuff, which I'm pointing out because everyone else is, praising it. So it's good to balance these things out. I do like a lot of it as well. I think the main character is really endearing. The aesthetic is generally lovely. I mean, I'm a sucker for 50s sort of aesthetic, and that sort of old future. Yeah, post-apocalyptic stuff always gets me. I just think maybe less stupidity and a more focused narrative that isn't jumping around between the various different perspectives so early on would also have improved it. Then by the end, I think it does fall apart. Like the last episode is ridiculous. And I know we're not doing spoilers, but could I talk about maybe the second Silo book? Because that's basically a spoiler. That came out back in 2012, and it's the same thing, just better, because it makes a bit of sense. No, because I can't talk about that without spoiling it. The ending is ridiculous, and it's a shame because I think it sacrifices a lot of good work that the show genuinely does do. On a whole, I would say it's okay. It's not brilliant. It's not awful. I wouldn't call it woke, although it is interesting. I know I'm ranting at this stage, but like it's really interesting to know how people are looking at it, woke or not woke, purely based on the identity politics stuff.
It's
and how like that's all captured everyone's imagination. The fact that the end is basically, hey, communism's actually quite good and the evil capitalists cause a war. No one's saying that that's woke, which really interests me, just like on an academic basis, because it means that we've completely shifted our means of analysis in this area entirely toward identity. But I'll let someone else have a go now.
Ian,
I don't think
follow
it was
that.
Oh, okay.
Go on, Vex, go.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think it was necessarily praising communism because there are several instances where it even dunks on that. I do agree, though,
agreed.
that, the ending, though, like the reason for the war starting, like I was sort of on board with the idea because this is all something that there's conspiracy theories about, right? That corporate America or corporate greed just kind of like drives a lot of instances and it causes XYZ occurrences, right? But the fact that that was the sole reason was pretty dumb, so I agree there. But like the show is also like pretty like pro like patriotism, it's pro American ideals, like it pushes quite a bit of that, especially through the vault narrative. So I'm not seeing the whole like communism good thing, because even the was it the Raiders or whatever, right? The woman's cult or whatever. Like everything they did was clearly in the wrong. Even that weird like culty nudity dance thing they did, it was more akin to like that was showing communism bad, if anything. That's what I got from it.
I would say that's showing religion bad because there's no real direct connection between those Vault people and their messiahs, or what you want to call it. That's strictly speaking all to do with the setup for the final the conflict that starts all of this off. It's really I want to spoil it. No, I'm not going to spoil it. No, we'll have to probably just disagree offline on that one. But
okay,
Ian, is it 3 episodes in?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about this poster. Probably in that other country, the black guy probably had his mask on, wasn't he? He probably had his mask on for that poster.
China.
Yeah, that well, I wasn't going to mention. Anyway, no, I'm liking it so far. You know, I think, I mean, I do get what Vex is saying, and the Lord, as I call him,
yes, the Lord,
is saying sometimes though you can dive too deeply into something. That's not a bad thing. But you know, I think with something like this, you just got to, if you're enjoying it, then you just kind of got to enjoy it. Just go with it. As I said, there's no right or wrong when you criticize things. But for me, right, I did see all that stuff that the Lord pointed out, and most of the stuff what Vex pointed out, but it didn't bother me that much. Yeah, it didn't bother me that much at all. I like the characters. I was enjoying it. It's a nice little ride. You know, obviously, because I have never played the game, I don't know anything about this at all. I like the ghoul. He's probably the best thing about it so far.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
He's Bane's origin story. He's pretty good.
Right.
I do like
Yeah, and it does focus a lot on him, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, the third episode, we find out about loads of different things in his past and stuff like that. I just was wondering, the suit that the black guy wears, and I can't remember his name. Sorry. Is that a visual effect, or is it really there? When I was watching,
think that's the real suit.
Yeah, the real suit.
But if it is, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really does.
I think they built 6 of them, I think.
It might be a cross between the suit there in real life and also having a little bit of CGI in there to augment it, I think. But it works really well.
The real.
Now, what I'm saying is they might add a little bit of CGI to actually make it look realer, if there's such a word.
I think there's a few scenes like when it's a combat scene, and if it looks like it's moving more quickly than it does in other scenes, CGI, then it's probably the CGI version of it. But you can't really tell the difference beyond that.
Yeah. As I said, it's really enjoyable so far. I'm looking forward to seeing episode 4, according to Vex. It's not directed by the Nolan fella.
Yeah,
it's directed by someone else, so it should get better. Yeah, just I recommend it if anybody is listening.
Wait, are you saying it's not shit?
No, it's not. It's not. But the thing is, though, this is a
Suck it in,
surprise thing
folks.
because we've seen so much shit recently. But this isn't one of them. So it's good. Maybe we're coming out the shit phase. Who knows?
Well, when Prime released a clip of this about a week or so back, I thought, fuck me, another female lead is going to end up as another overpowered Mary Sue. And my eye rolling went into overdrive. But I actually found myself really liking Lucy, a realistic
She's
female with a childlike naivety that almost gets her killed on numerous occasions. And she's no match for even the basic warrior. So
yeah,
I found myself really attaching to her, and I quite like her.
She wasn't the bestest ever straight away, was she?
They undercut it quite cleverly because they introduce her when she's giving her speech about herself and her backstory. She does judo and she does math and she does science.
Yeah,
like you think, oh god, they're building her up to be this, aren't they? But then no, actually, you're right. It's the culture shock of leaving the vault, which throws her into this completely alien scenario where all the skills that she actually needs to survive, in other words, knowing who to trust and who not to, she doesn't have. So she has to get saved several times. She does get punched a fair few times. She's not amazingly great in fight scenes and things like that. And that does all make her quite endearing. She's quite a rich character, I think. All of the characters, well, not all, most of the characters are pretty well done in this.
Well, I've seen 3 episodes so far, and it does seem like the girl, the woman, is it Lucy?
Lucy,
Lucy, and the black guy are all going on a journey.
Ella Purnell, I think her name
of self-discovery about themselves, aren't they? So which is a good thing. So that's what happens in stories. So it's a good thing. So I look forward to seeing episode 4.
Even her brother Norm, who starts off as a really cowardly weasel, really starts to step up towards the end of the series, and his instinct just seems to drive him further. And I quite like the route that he's on.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people calling out, oh, well, they made the brother like a wimpy dude. And it's like, even in episode 1, you can tell that because like there's a shot where she's describing her family and it looks more, she's like, oh, we're trying to get my brother involved with the family book club, but he's not quite there yet. And it's more that it's a disinterest in everything as opposed to like, he just doesn't want anything to do with his family or he's kind of dumb or whatever. And then when the wedding happens too, from the moment the other dwellers come into Vault 33, he knows that something is off. So his instincts are very good, and they show that throughout the series. It's just more by nature, he doesn't subscribe to the Vault logic or the Vault way of thinking. And it seems like everyone is just judging a lot of these characters on face value for a lot of things, and rather paying attention to the very subtle things that they don't just throw at you with exposition, because we're so used to just shows and movies just throwing the information at us instead of showing it through dialogue, through action, through background. So
do you know the black guy with the beard?
Max. Oh, the black
guy. He's one of the leaders or whatever when they were doing that speech in episode 3. They were going, no, we should integrate the people into our society. I've seen him somewhere before. Can anybody tell me where he's been? Was he in a sitcom or something? Or
the fat one?
Yeah, the one with the beard.
Severance.
Oh, okay. Because he looks so familiar. I was like, I've seen that guy somewhere, but I couldn't place him.
He's been in a couple things. It might have been Severance, actually.
We've got a comment, folks, if I may. For the sake of the comments, Mr. Brown, that's me. But you guys are supposed to hate everything. Twitter said so.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't never take what Twitter says for reals.
We want to be entertained, don't we? We want to be entertained.
There were a lot of people that the usual suspects will say that made a lot of videos the months leading up to this saying that it's woke garbage. They're subscribing to XYZ. And now I see all of those people on Twitter saying, yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, it's a 9 out of 10. It's like,
oh, are they eating crow?
Just fuck off, you guys. Like, I'm kind of, I'm so over this. I understand wanting to be weary, but like so much judgment before anything has launched is pretty crazy to me. Like in the opening episode, I don't think Lucy was a Mary Sue whatsoever. She gets thrown around by her husband twice. She even gets stabbed by him. it's by luck that she kicks him in the balls that she's able to get away. The stupidity that follows with the whole like people dying in the wedding reception, that's a different story. But there's never an instance where Lucy is like she overpowers a man or another character just
No.
because she's a girl boss or anything.
So
Like
when
she's actually developing.
well, so when she gets stabbed, right? How is it
Mhm.
that it didn't affect her? Is there? It was. Did I miss something there? Because if
So
you get
she got
stabbed there,
Yeah,
it
she
would-
got stabbed, and then this
Yeah.
is just more of a continuity
Right.
error, or just like an instance of where they don't explain things. But like
Right.
stim packs are a thing in the universe, and that's what she injects herself
Oh,
with.
I see.
But
Okay.
that doesn't fully heal things, right?
Right.
So like she'll be running around the next episode all fine, but she still has a cut on her lip. It's like, how do you still have the cut on your lip, but you're not kind of wincing at the stab
Yeah.
in the gut that you got, kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
minor thing though that you can forget in the grand scheme of things.
and the cut on Maximus's nose is present throughout, which
Yes.
is from
Throughout,
the
yes.
first episode, I think.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. As I said, it's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable show. Again, right, I don't blame the people that, you know, before the show started, they were going to say it's woke garbage. It's not their fault, in my opinion. It's because of what's happened and
Yeah.
what is continuing to happen. That's why they come to that conclusion. But they're all happy to say that this isn't, and this is really good. So that's a good thing, in my opinion.
I'm going
Uh,
to still blame them because you should have a little bit more critical thinking than to
I
just
know,
label
but we're just so
everything as
battle hardened.
Yeah,
That's the
I
exactly.
think
problem.
It's not
people
our
take
fault.
silly
God
things
Morgan.
too seriously. People take silly things too seriously.
Mm.
And
We
I'm
want to be
sure
entertained.
all the criticism that gets for things being wrong is probably correct, but
Yeah.
not really warranted, because you got to understand what you're looking at. You're not looking at something that's supposed to be taken seriously. It's like watching Tom and Jerry and saying, "No way, that cat would be dead if you hit it with a frying pan." You know, cats have thin skulls, and you just couldn't take a whack in the head with a frying pan like that. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, it's obviously it's not meant to be as silly as Tom and Jerry, but it's not meant to be as serious as the
Yeah.
Deer Hunter, which is my go-to one. The Deer Hunter. It's
Yeah.
not the Deer Hunter. You know, it's like
Mm.
it's silly. So I mean, you got to allow for silliness. It should
Did
be
we
for
Also,
all?
enjoyment.
just bear in mind that when you do write a script, and whoever who wrote this anyway, or that was based on a computer game, but the people that wrote the episodes and stuff, like it's incredibly hard, right, to write something that's perfect or everything connects. 9 times out of 10, everything does connect, but there's always one stupid thing that you miss. And then when it's made, somebody points it out and you go, oh, fuck, why didn't I see that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but the stuff that Little Platoons pointed out and what Vex has pointed out, it didn't really bother me because I was on the ride. So I kind of, I kind of let it through the door, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So we are recommending this, yes?
I
Yes.
recommend it, definitely.
Yeah. Took me by surprise.
Mm.
We were expecting the worst.
I literally only watched it because you said it was on the docket today.
And I
And
do
then
want
I-
to watch it.
All episodes, didn't you? All of them.
I know I was just gonna watch like 1 or 2, and then I got so into it that I just watched the whole series.
Same here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
there is 7 different
go on.
writers across the whole series.
Yeah,
So it's not the same person.
it is difficult to
throughout.
actually keep everything in check. Well, if you've ever written a screenplay, it is very difficult to do that.
But
Sometimes.
similarly, I mean, these people are paid an awful lot of money, and it is their job.
Yeah, but
So-
still, though, Little Platoon, or still though, even if you're being paid, you do the best you can. I'm sure these people
Yeah.
did the best they can, but there's always something that falls through the gap. Do you know what I mean?
You
Always.
can,
With
and
every-
you
with anything.
can. I mean, I'm in writers' rooms every day where we are writing screenplays. I don't, maybe there will be at the end of this process. There will be something which someone
There'll
says,
always
"Hey,
be.
that thing doesn't quite add up to that thing."
Yeah.
And in
But-
that situation, if that is in fact the case, it will be an objective flaw in the finished product, and people will be
Yeah.
right to criticize it, and they would also be right to say that the finished product would be better if it weren't
Yeah.
there,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
sort of the point of it. My problem with Fallout is not that it's a bad show. It's not that it does too much of this. It's just that it does enough of it to make it less than it could have been. And to the point on silliness and accepting a certain degree of silliness, that is true. And in terms of it's a slightly comedic show, I don't think though that silliness has to completely override any sense of stakes in combat scenes, for example, which are kind of important if you're to invest in the thing properly, not just on a superficial level. If you're just sort of sitting back watching Fallout, which is trying to tell a semi-serious story, by the way, it's not just jokes and capers. It is trying to tell a serious story with serious characters. If you're sitting there thinking, well, none of it really matters because it's just silly, then I don't think you're actually enjoying it as much as you would if it had taken itself more seriously or if it hadn't made these very silly mistakes.
I don't know. I don't think that's true because I remember I was watching Die Hard with my dad once when my dad was alive. You know the bit where he rolls the fire hydrant out and then he jumps from the building and
Yes.
and then he smashes through the window and he's still alive. My dad just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake, that would never happen." Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like you either accept the incredible thing that happens, or you, I guess you don't.
Suspension of disbelief.
I don't mind
like
accepting incredible things that happen. I just think if incredible things happen, they should happen consistently. Because if they don't happen consistently, then you have no idea what the rules are. And if you don't know what the rules are, then nothing makes sense because anyone could die or live depending on nothing but the capriciousness of the writers, essentially. So if you establish, for instance, that power armor is incredibly big and heavy, right, which they do, so it can't walk up some stairs, for example, which it can't. And then later on, you have it sitting down on wooden boxes that don't smash. And then later on, it falls through a wooden grate, but then it pulls itself out only when the writers decide it's time for that to happen. Then you're sitting there thinking, well, you're just running with whatever you need the scene to do. You're not actually running with anything you've established, and that makes the fight scene somewhat less involving.
Yeah, but again, right? It's very, especially when you're writing so many episodes, it's very difficult to see that. Especially
this
when
is all
you're
in
writing
one episode.
Yes, no, but what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that when you're writing it, like you must know this in the writers' room. People pitch in and stuff, and somebody gets assigned to do one episode, whatever. Sometimes you forget. It doesn't matter how many notes you do. Sometimes you forget the whole thing about like the armor, for instance. You know what I mean? So it's very hard. I'm not defending them. I totally agree with you, Ben. I totally agree with what you're saying. But I'm just pointing out that it is quite hard. You must know if you're in a
it's tricky, but then that's one of the reasons you have a writer's room of other people who can pick up things that you've missed, which I think it's supposed to be part of the job, and you are making a mistake if you haven't done it. Oh yeah, mistakes will happen. It's just that ideally there are fewer of them. I'm not by the same token trying to say this is a terrible show because I did enjoy large parts of it. I just think that like there are so many very simple things that it could have done and it would have been better. And then, of course, the massive thing it needs to change, which is the ending, to make it a genuinely good show, as opposed to one that I would just say is a fun-ish watch. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Without spoilers, does it have an ending, or is it something that's meant to continue?
It's going to continue.
It's going to continue. It doesn't wrap things up in a bow at the end, which I thought was really good. It doesn't say, well, that's the season. We'll see if we get a second one.
One of my pet hates, just sticking with us for a second, one of my pet hates on anything I'm watching is bad physics. If they can't work out physics, that one thing weighs heavier than another thing, or one thing will break when the other thing hits it. Simple, basic stuff, that you understand when you're 5.
Well, don't watch Spider-Man then.
One of the MCU films, Captain America holds down a helicopter while it's trying to take off. And the only way that would happen is if it was heavier than the helicopter.
What about Dr. Octopus lifting up a car with his arms just to support his body, supporting the whole thing? What about that one?
He's got a spell master.
Are you available, Z, please?
I most certainly am. Old Cranky Gamer for $10 says the show retcons Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 lore, so there is only Bethesda. Smart, since fans of those games do not like Fallout 4 and 76, but petty. Next season, they will retcon New Vegas. I wouldn't know. I've never played the game. Although I do agree with the thing with the power armor being inconsistent. I was unsure why the power armor needs a fusion core to operate, but the same fusion core can power an entire vault for 200 plus years.
What is that?
That didn't make sense.
Tommy for £2. Real money, allegedly, folks. I love Fallout games and loved this show. Wayland Bathiva for $2. Bring out Fozzie Brown, perhaps.
What was I gonna? Can I ask a question?
You're going to.
Bex, have you played this game, Bex? No.
No, I've been meaning
All
to
right.
because I own 3, 4, and New Vegas. I just never got around to it. But just to
any-
add on to old
Yeah.
cranky. Oh, sorry. Finish your thought first.
No, I'm just saying. Has anybody played this game? Because I want to know. Do the
Mm-mm.
characters look like the computer? Like the girl, for instance, she look like the
Similar,
computer?
yes.
Yes. Oh, good. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait,
Just to
don't you
old
make
cranky.
your own character? I
You do
thought.
make your own character.
All
Yes.
right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cranky old gamers like other super chat before about the
Oh, bear with me.
retconning.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So this is like a bit of a this feels like a bit of an inside joke as well because Todd Howard, who formerly ran Bethesda, I think
Yes.
he's moved on now. But he's always hated that fans have loved New Vegas more than 3 or 4, like in the modern Fallout era. So it doesn't surprise me that he's trying to retcon things. I don't agree with the fact that they made this show canon to the lore because I think that upsets people more than anything. But I think 2 things can be true at the same time. It's okay not to always things don't always translate 100% to film or TV, especially when you have something like this where they are pretty solidly bringing together 3 separate storylines. Like there's a lot of shows that fuck up bringing together so many storylines together so smoothly. Yes, some of it is dumb how it comes together, but it works pretty well, like in the grand scheme of the entire season. But also, I don't think this, from the lore that I do know, I don't think it does a huge disservice because it does work in a lot of things pretty well. So that's just my 2 cents. Because you can do something like what Halo did, which is literally just take a name, take a character, and then say, we fucking hated the original lore.
Yeah.
We wanted to rework it. You can tell that this was at least someone that enjoyed the franchise and tried to do justice to it. I can see that as someone that didn't play the games.
Iga folks, Old Cranky Gamer again, $5. Biggest shock is that I didn't get a crash to desktop ×2 episode.
You see, it's better when they don't stick entirely to the lore. You don't crash so often. That's a big
Yeah,
improvement. No blue screens, nothing.
Yeah.
No
Not enough
glitches.
titties, though.
I just think you remember the first time I ever played Fallout 3. I think it's it's the guy who plays he's in Battlestar Galactica and he's the doctor guy. I think he's either one of the first people you meet or you meet him in an important moment, but because the game glitched, his head was just rotating constantly 360 degrees, and then he walked up an
What?
invisible staircase through the ceiling and then emerged through an invisible staircase in the floor, and it was fucking hilarious. But that's funny and silly, but that's not in a way actually I'd quite like to have seen that in the thing just because that's very funny. But no. At least you don't get crashes and glitches. That's an improvement.
Here you go, folks. Romeo Tango November Zulu for $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, my friend. Hail, Brune. I met John Noble at a con last week. Great guy. Been rewatching Fringe. A lot of mystery box
Fringe.
nonsense, but the characters make it worth.
Well, I agree.
while.
Totally agree. Yeah. I love Fringe.
Smilex just coming in. Here we go. Smilex, £5, real money. Allegedly. Hello, my friend. No one picked up so much useless junk that they walked slowly. 0 out of 10 for accuracy.
Yeah, no over encumbered. The bane of any traveling adventurer is to pick up too much junk, and then you have movement penalties. You can't sprint or jump.
But do you know what? I tell you what I found stupid in one of these episodes is when God, spoilers everywhere, spoilers, right? So when the main character cuts that guy's head off, why didn't she put it in a bag? Why did she just walk? There was a bag on the ground.
Was there? Oh,
yeah.
No, wasn't that like a suitcase of his? Not a
yeah.
proper bag?
Well, she had a backpack, right?
It's very tiny.
She was walking with it in her hand, just walking. I was like,
I think that's a rule of cool thing, isn't it? It looks cool, so we're going to have it that way. That's
I just thought it was weird.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
38 minutes. Shall we proceed? Well, it's a sidestep. It's a sidestep. Okay, so Fallout debuts 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Are we back to taking Rotten Tomato scores seriously?
When we agree, it's always been the rule. When you agree with Rotten Tomatoes, you take it seriously.
Okay, gotcha.
I screen grabbed this on the first day of release, so it's probably out of date. But
I
That's
think the
good.
only
Hopefully, we'll
character-
be
Kind of believable.
moving forward with good shows now. Do you know what I mean? Fingers crossed, because they can't keep making woke shows forever and ever and ever.
I
Nobody will
disagree
watch
that this
them.
is a 95 though. This is like
Yeah.
maybe a 7.5 to an 8. I would say it's still
Mm.
there's still a lot of improvement it can make, but it's good overall.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good show.
I think I posted 8 on Internet Movie Database because you
I'm
can't do
giving it an 8 out of
halves.
10
You can't
as
do
well.
halves. Yeah.
Mm.
Solid 8. Should we sidestep? I think it's a sidestep. Okay. Last on Fallout. Fallout Season 2 is very likely to happen. The series has already been given tax credits to go ahead with filming in California.
The effects were really good in it as well.
Alarm bells.
I thought the effects. I don't know you guys. I thought the effects
Agreed.
were really good. I mean, they weren't.
The gore effects were amazing.
Oh yeah.
Lots of
Fantastic.
gore, folks.
Mm.
Melvin?
The effects. I've only seen first episode. It's there were no issues that I've seen in episode 1.
Mm.
It all looked good. It looked really good actually.
Mm.
But I'm only 1 episode in, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of because I suspect we've left. I actually found the stuff that's set back in old history, 1950s, probably more interesting than
It's really
a lot
good.
of the stuff that's
I did
happened.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't it?
really
But
good, yeah.
we've probably exhausted the potential for that particular storyline. I think I don't imagine we'll spend much more time back there. But that is the stuff that they did steal entirely from the second Silo book. So I'm also really looking forward to Silo season 2 because I think it'll do Volts a bit more interestingly than Fallout did.
Mm.
Here you go, folks. Black Lives or Black Knives for $2. Thank you, my friend. Doing more side steps than the cubic shuffle, or is that Cuban?
Cubic.
Pubic?
Or
Cubic,
is
Stanley
it,
yeah.
Kubrick.
or is it Dune?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I think a
So-
season 2 has already been approved. They're just going to wait another week maybe and then announce it.
They shooting in LA then because of the tax breaks, or have they shot
Probably.
that in LA? Or,
I think they're just
or-
shooting it because LA just looks like the wasteland at this point.
Right.
I think tax
Yeah.
breaks have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You thought they were ghouls you were seeing there. They weren't. It's just homeless people.
Yeah.
I kind of think series get commissioned now for about 20 episodes, effectively 2 seasons.
I think
So
that's accurate to say.
I
wonder if
think
it's
I
number
think
one
this
on
was going to be
Amazon.
made. 2 seasons were going to be made.
Mhm.
Let's have a look. See
Yeah.
if it's number 1 on Amazon. I don't know what number it is on Amazon.
It was number 1 in Amazon in Canada for me
Oh,
on
was
my
it?
app.
I'm just
So,
checking
yeah.
the UK.
If season 2
Yes,
is a
it's number
banger-
1 in the UK.
Yeah, if season 2 is a banger, there'll be a season 3.
And Roadhouse is number 2.
Yeah. I think most modern day series now get commissioned for 20 episodes, irrespective, and effectively a season. But what they do is split it down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because back in the day, you used to get 21, 22, 23 episodes a season,
Mhm.
whereas those days have gone now. So, okay, so season 2, hopefully, fingers crossed, soon, folks. Okay, let's move on then. Okay. Who's still watching Shogun? Did a new
What a-
episode drop this
Not
week?
me.
What a brutal episode this was.
Spoilers, by the way, folks.
Am I the only one who watches this?
I watch it.
I
did you
haven't
think?
started it yet.
It's
But Toranaga has to make his defeat seem so convincing that he's prepared to let his friend do that. That was
Yeah.
absolutely shocking to me.
it's I found it a slow episode, but it was one of them things. It's like take a breather, just let a couple of things happen in this one.
Where are we now? Is it episode 8?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of setting up for the final battle. I hope the final episode is the entire battle. I hope.
It's still good then, yes.
Still good. Just that little mishap for 3 and 4, and a bit of 5, and it's picked up. And this is another top episode, definitely.
So 2 series that are decent at the moment, yes.
I would be willing to bet that this is better than the other one. I'd put my money on that.
I'd probably agree. Yeah.
Quick question, actually. Is anyone else watching Sugar on Apple TV?
No,
No.
Colin Farrell, neo-noir detective series?
I think we should be though.
It's very good so far. So if you're wanting more good TV, that's a good place to be as well.
Sugar
Sugar
on Apple. Okay.
on Apple. Yeah. They're on the 3rd episode now, just premiered on Friday.
Smilex. I watched the first episode of Sugar. And Smilex, is it any good? Okay, so decent TV seems to be a thing nowadays. Wow.
Don't get too carried away. Rings of Power.
No.
Rings of Power season 2 is coming out next year. Isn't it?
Ah,
It's refreshing to get some really strong character-driven stories for a change. It really is. I'm just loving Shogun, everything about it.
Here you
I
go. Sorry, mate.
haven't read the
Absolutely.
book, and perhaps I should, but I just think it's great. I can't say any more than that.
Here you go, folks. Bear Circa 13. Yes, I love Sugar so far. There you go, folks. So, Fallout, Shogun, Sugar. There you go, folks. Should
It's
we move
great
on?
not hating stuff. It's great not hating things.
And on that bombshell,
Oh.
let's move on.
Speaking for myself.
God, no.
This was the cinematic biggie this week, was it not? Civil
Couldn't
War.
pay me enough to see this one.
Ooh, watch Civil War.
It's a pile of arse gravy. I mean, it's such an absolutely pointless movie.
For
Is
no
that-
reasons.
Os gravy to go with the os jerky from Fallout.
Yeah, why not? They go
Lots of
together
ass
so well.
action.
So I'm told. If you have absolutely nothing else in your diet, then I guess you can settle for this. So it works in multiple levels. No, it's a cynical, cold, cash grab, empty film. It exists not to actually say anything about the topic it's covering. It just exists because everyone is very politically het up at the moment. So Alex Garland comes along and says, "Hey, look, Civil War is like a bad thing, and bad things are bad. This is a deep and profound question. Are bad things bad? Should we oppose bad things?" And you sit there thinking, yes, but what actually is the bad thing? Because you tell us nothing. The premise of this movie is that the United States has been divided into 4 rival power blocks. But functionally for the movie, there are only 2 because 3 of them have sided against the loyalist United States, led by President Ron Swanson, Nick Offerman's character.
What?
And you don't have a clue what either side is fighting for. So at no point ever can you ever say that there is actually a bad thing to oppose. The film sort of takes a couple of vague thematic ideas. The first is that polarization is bad. And the second one is that it's vaguely dehumanizing, I suppose, as an extension of the first.
Yep.
The problem is, though, that you can't do what he tries to do, which is to say that polarization is ipso facto a bad thing, and call your movie Civil War. Because if you're applying his same very, very vague approach to the actual American Civil War, it's like saying there are no winners in the fight against slavery. Sometimes polarization's a good thing. Sometimes civil wars can be necessary, but you don't know that they are unless you know what the sides are fighting for. And this film does it's not an exaggeration to say no world building at all. Like, you have no clue who anyone is, what they're doing, why they're doing it, who's fighting. The main characters he's talked about, they're journalists. So of course the film gets loads of good reviews because journalists like to think they're really important, and they're not, but they like to think that they are. The main characters are journalists, and he said in interviews, it's kind of a lesson about how important journalistic objectivity is, and I wanted to make a film in which the journalists are heroes. I challenge you to go and watch this film and come away with the impression that the journalists who just go around photographing people dying horribly, and then even photograph themselves as they die horribly, and do absolutely nothing else, are
What?
heroes in this movie. One of them gets the other one killed in the most comically ridiculous action scene I've seen for some time, just takes a photo and leaves. Now, this is not, you can have good conversations about the importance of journalistic objectivity, but this is not it. This film is just a shallow, soulless cash grab from a guy who's made basically an entire career of giving this impression that his movies are really deep and philosophical, except that it only impresses people who don't spend more than 5 seconds thinking about them. And there are lots of those people, apparently.
A
Boom.
lot of them. Yeah, I don't understand why people are enjoying this
Uh-huh.
film whatsoever. I went to India for this one because I was like, there's no way that this is going to be
How
entertaining enough.
is India? Is it pleasant?
It's
this
quite
time of year?
warm this time of
Yeah,
year.
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
it's
so,
nice.
yeah.
Very nice, yeah. Yeah, everything Platoon said, you have to basically go and watch Alex Garland's interviews if you want actual context for everything that's happening. So apparently the president is a like huge fascist and this is a fascist government that he's running, but there's no indication that there is any fascism. There's
It's
no
not in the
system of
movie.
government.
It's not in the
Yeah.
movie. I looked at this and because I saw that interview clip and I went, well, what does the president actually do and say? He gives a speech talking about how important it is to be loyal to the flag. He fights in a civil war against people who want to overthrow his government. This involves the use of airstrikes, which otherwise the film forgets exist, by the way, because it doesn't have the budget to actually depict the civil war. So you have to pretend that stuff like this is going on. It never actually does. Then he refuses to surrender and he dies. Nothing about that is fascist at all. Like it's kind of like the Rorschach test. It's an empty thing that you've put on a piece of paper, like an ink splodge, and lots of people are looking at it and saying, "Oh, isn't it great how it affirms all of my priors?" Like, no, but it doesn't. Your input, like that's all you. You're creating a work of art out of this film which doesn't have anything in it. That's all this film is doing. It's kind of clever in a cynical way, but the president is not a fascist in any way. There's nothing about him which says fascist, because every leader of any political, religious, ethnic stripe who's in that situation would say and do exactly the same thing. So you have to, you can watch the interviews and he'll say, oh, this is clearly about fascism. And my question is there a danger from fascism? Is fascism bad? And you think, yes, everyone acknowledges that, but what is fascism? And he has
Right.
no clue, and the film doesn't answer that question because it's a cowardly film.
This is definitely a bait film just because of the year, because like even if just the way without even having to present any history, it's one of those stories that this could literally take place anywhere in the world and the story would be exactly the same. So there's never an instance where I know that this is happening in America. I never get American ideals come through. I never get an ounce of patriotism come through. Even just the way that they decide to portray Midwesterners is completely inaccurate. And I say that as a fucking Canadian. So, like this is very clearly a movie written by a European that
By a
knows
Brit.
nothing. Yes, by a Brit that knows
Yeah.
nothing about American culture or politics, but knows that, American politics is always in the news and it portrays everyone who might be slightly right as bad. So let's turn that into a movie during an election year kind of deal. Even I see a lot of people say, "Oh, it's artsy. It's meant to be about emotion," and I'm just, where is the art, my guy? I don't see any art here. The best part of the movie was maybe the last 10 to 15 minutes because it actually showed them going like deep into a quote unquote war zone at the White House. And it looked a little bit more believable than everything else, but otherwise you've got like some really dumb shots of like Kristen Stewart sleeping in Kristen Dunst sleeping in flowers at one point, and then there's a few dumb jokes
What?
like, "Oh, I didn't know you were press based on press written on your van," and
Why are we doing humor in this deep and
Right.
serious examination of the dangers of fascism? I thought the last scene was ridiculous. The last scene is a big battle. It's in Washington as they approach
Spoilers.
the White House, and you've got an Apache helicopter, famous for being long-range attack helicopters, which is flying along streets, shooting things from 5 feet away.
I agree with you,
Then,
but that was
like-
still better than the rest of the film.
I mean, yeah, at least there was action, so it looked better. But it still makes no fucking sense. And then, like, the car drives away, and then all the army says, "President's in there, shoot him." And only one of the journalists says, "Oh no, hey, I think the president's still in the White House." So then the journalists just completely detached from the army, running ahead of the army, which are about to come up behind them, raiding the White House, trying to get an interview with the president who's about to be shot. The setup is ridiculous. You miss all the interesting stuff. The action's tedious. The characters barely exist. There's not very much dialogue. There's no world building. The theme is confused. Everything about this is a bad, cynical, cold cash grab movie. And again, it's another one of those examples where the plot can only progress through absolute stupidity. Like journalists, trained war correspondents, drive along a road, see obvious trap, and say, well, because we haven't done any world building to establish that fuel is scarce, we're just going to, we have no reason to actually drive through it, but we're going to just drive right into the trap. Let's do that. oh, we need to separate young girl main character from the rest so we can like manufacture a tense scene. Let's have a jump between cars moving to jump into the car of a guy who just turns up in order that he can die in a few minutes' time, but he's apparently their friend. Like, none of it makes any sense. And it annoys me when people say, no, you're just not thinking about the film. No, the film is expecting you to do all the work it doesn't do. And that's not what art is supposed to be, contra some stupid people on Twitter who say otherwise.
Agreed. No, even on the all the review sites, like whether they're mainstream or not, everyone seems to love this film for some reason. I'm just, what is there to love? But I will say the best scene, which was kind of spoiled by the trailers with
Yes.
Jesse Plemons when they get like quote unquote kidnapped or whatever, somehow, somehow they're stopped in the middle of a road going at like 100 miles per hour and just pulled out of the car. But he's just like, he's asking all of them where they're from, and then the one guy's like, I'm from Hong Kong, and he shoots him in the head right away. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. All right, you got me there. But yeah, useless film. This is a baiting film. Anyone who sees art in this is quite literally tarded. Like, you're just dumb. You've got a dent in your head.
Ian, you fancy this?
Nope.
Melvin?
Not going to see this at all.
Well, after hearing what people are saying, I'm not going to be watching this, and I don't want to grass anybody, right? I don't want to snitch, but Lance said this was all right.
Bagface said this was really good.
Really?
He
Really?
did. Everybody
no.
on Critic List loves this movie. I'm the first one to rate it as shit.
Yeah, but Bagface's example was a short interview clip where Garland says, I think it's a clearly political movie because it's talking about fascism, and if it's bad, that's not thinking. That doesn't require the use of your brain. What requires the use of your brain is trying to figure out what the film thinks fascism is. Otherwise, it's just saying, is bad thing bad? And everyone can agree that bad thing is bad, but everyone has a different idea of what that happens to be.
Lord, for the uninitiated, fascism, what is it?
There's almost no definition, which is why it's a useless term. But if you want a strict definition of fascism, it's Mussolini's combination of social and economic policies, and it does not apply either to National Socialism or to Phalangism in Spain or anything. Anyone that anyone else calls fascist usually isn't a fascist. Orwell wrote a good essay called "What is Fascism" back in 1944, saying that in the last 12 months he'd seen the word fascist used to apply to conservatives, Labour parties, dog lovers, like vegans, like anything you care to name, Italians, Spanish people, English people. No one has a clue what they're talking about when they use the term. It has just become a swear word. And that's the approach.
I disagree. I know what fascism is. It's when you wear stylish clothes.
They do have good style, that's true.
Yeah. Z, you gonna go watch this?
Not at all. I was thinking about it because obviously he did Dread and 28 Days Later. So, I quite like some of his stuff, but he's very hit and miss. And I don't think I'm going to be spending any of my hard-earned money to watch it.
Okay, so...
Question.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, did anyone watch his last film, Men?
No.
No?
Oh, is that the one where one guy plays all those characters?
I have no idea. That's the one movie of his in recent years that I haven't seen. So I'm just curious if this is a steady decline of Alex Garland that we're witnessing, because I've generally liked his stuff.
Don't know.
Wasn't that the film about toxic masculinity?
That's what I think it was. God. That's why I'm curious if it actually was like it was like that kind of film or not.
Alex, what you doing, man?
I think Boosh McFadden in the chat actually quite nicely illustrates the problem with definitions of fascism, having just given a list of qualifying criteria for fascism.
Flash it up. Here we go.
That also applies to almost every other pre-democratic liberal state you care to name. So it's insufficient to say strict nationalist ideologies with rigid control of government, forcible censorship, suppression of opposition, stranglehold on commerce, education, and media. That also applies to Stalin's Russia. That also applies to Tsarist Russia. And those two things can't simultaneously be fascism and also communism and also Tsarism. So it has to go a little bit more than that. You do actually have to, I think, root it much more in time and in place and develop new and specific terms for subdivisions and combinations of those things. It makes it a bit more interesting than just shouting fascist at every political system you don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than those comments, you recommend this?
Yeah, it's great. Definitely. Yeah. If you want to melt your brain and make sure that you can never pass a basic 4th grade test
Oh,
ever
dear.
again, go and watch Civil War.
Oh dear.
That's
Okay.
I actually caught it with Mauler and Fringy, and we looked at the map before we started watching it, and we're thinking, I wonder how they're going to justify this. This
Yeah.
is like, it's a really unbelievable world setting Texas and California together. They're going to have to do a lot of work to make
What?
that believable. And the answer is no.
They do
They
nothing.
just
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Okay, I think there's a sidestep.
Yeah, you're stupid if you think this movie is good. I'm sorry.
84% at the time of Screen Grab.
Well, this is
157 reviews.
this movie is quite literally like a leftist's wet dream. That's why, because this is what every leftist thinks will happen if Trump gets reelected. This is what America will become, and you don't give any context for whatever is going on with this film either, aside from like a little drop here or there in an interview. So everyone's
Yeah.
just fucking foaming at the mouth, like, "Oh, we gotta vote Biden, vote Biden, vote Biden." You know.
Bit of politics, folks. Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think. I mean, like, I actually think the film was trying to have it both ways in that, because like the final scene, you've got the president who's not leaving the White House voluntarily, which is something that people say, "Oh, Trump does that. That's a bad fascist thing to do." But then to get rid of him, you have to storm the White House, which everyone thinks is a bad and fascist thing to do. I think the film was deliberately trying to say, no matter what your political prayers are, you can see your own truth in this movie. I think that's sort of what it was going for, as
That's
opposed to
fair.
just one side and the other. It's just it completely fails for that very reason.
No, I think it's because the way because I just went into it thinking like, okay, it's not going to clearly define either side, but I'm still going to expect this film to kind of like thrust a certain ideology onto me. But then like the moment I just kind of like sat there and thought about it and wondered why people were giving this such high reviews, I was like, lefties love this fucking movie because this is their dystopian wet dream right now. This is exactly what they think will happen. So I think maybe from that perspective, that's why I think it works that way.
Mhm.
That's all. Yeah.
Okay, a sidestep. I think it's a sidestep. Civil War opens with 27.5 million domestically, making it A24's first ever film to be at number one, blah, 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 blah. So
Has
20.
no competition, so of course
Yeah,
not.
nothing else, was there?
Yeah, nope.
So it's doing well then.
I thought this was a damning indictment of A24's previous offerings.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
Interesting.
were.
Not very good.
Iron Claw just came out in December. That was
Oh,
phenomenal.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
27 is just average for me, is it?
That's a
Seems
pretty small
okay.
opening, isn't it?
It's the second week, isn't it? What makes and breaks it?
Mm.
But anyway, okay.
Does
Let's
this mean
move
it's knocked Godzilla X Kong off of the
It
off of the box
has.
office number? Thank God for that. There's something good has come out of it at least.
Okay, let's move on. I think we got bogged a little with those. Peacemaker Season 2 is in production. Fire James Gunn.
What? James Gunn not doing it?
No, he's
Oh,
doing
he's
it.
doing it. Sorry. I thought he said fire. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Via James Gunn.
I didn't watch the first season. I wasn't really interested in it. And just thought,
I
'cause
couldn't finish it. I think I got 3 or 4
Really?
episodes in, and I could not vibe with it at all. So I stopped watching.
I didn't like the film where he appeared in it, the last one.
No,
and that's the reason why I didn't want to watch it.
At the end of the Suicide Squad, I absolutely hated the character. I
Yeah.
thought it was a complete and utter C word. But I did watch season 1 right to the end.
Say it. Say the word.
No, don't. The little money I make off this, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I just thought it was really stupid, that film. Personally.
I did enjoy it, especially Robert Patrick playing a Grand Wizard in
Yeah,
the
he was
KKK.
great.
It was pretty good. But this is supposed to be in James Gunn's forthcoming DC universe. I don't see how, as half of the old Justice League appeared in the last episode.
Well,
Is his wife in it?
What it seems to me
Yes.
is that it looks like James Gunn doesn't really have a solid idea how to push DC's universe forward. He seems to be jumping around a lot for some reason, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Princess Fiona, here's a shocker. Mrs. Gunn's boobs are not real. I'm shocked. It was something to watch while lockdown was happening.
Was it during lockdown?
I think it was the
was, yeah.
second
Came
one.
out?
I think it was the second one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When we were desperate to be entertained. I enjoyed it for it was. It made me watch Suicide Squad on Z's recommendation, and I enjoyed that
What,
as
the
well.
second version?
Yeah, the one with the big blue squid thing, the whatever it was.
The
Starro.
big
Big starfish.
yeah, big
Yeah.
pink thing. Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
with Peter Capaldi in it. I thought
Yeah.
it was better than the first one.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Mm.
Okay. So coming to HBO probably. I think it's HBO near you
Yep.
soon.
Don't care.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Indeed.
Dr.
Look,
What?
Dr. Watt.
Dr. What?
Look, best will in the world for Doctor Who and for Ncuti Gatwa, but this is not a good look for a few weeks before global relaunch. Get those excuses in early. Meanwhile, production office equals 3 alarm panic. And then the article was Ncuti Gatwa admits early worries about Doctor Who role. Why did they cast me?
I think a lot of people thought, why did they cast him?
Yeah.
I think
but
we know why.
thing is, though, this is just them trying to get more attention on a show that they know is going to fail, in my opinion, of course.
Dead.
Yeah. It's all rubbish, really. Got nothing to report on Doctor Who at all. That's why they put this stuff out there. I mean, silly Gatwick might not have said this. Do you know what I mean? He might not have said it at all. So they're just trying
Well,
to.
it's
Did you
Radio
just call
Times
him
article. Silly
Did you
Gatwick.
just call
Silly
him Silly
Yes.
Gatwick?
Yeah, silly Gatwick. That's what I call him. What a twat.
Oh, Ian.
He is. Come on, he destroyed something that millions love. Do you know what I mean? So,
I find his portrayal of the Doctor very disrespectful towards women.
course it
You should
is.
not be calling them babes.
yeah. It's when he came out and said, "Give me some loving." When the trailer, and I thought, yeah,
Oh.
good luck, everybody. That's it. End of story. You know what I mean? It's just they've destroyed it completely now, utterly destroyed Doctor Who. Good luck.
I'm not going to get silly Gatwick out of my head now. It's gonna be stuck.
Well, the other version is shitty Gatwick, isn't it? I didn't really want to say shitty.
Yeah,
Gatwick.
Fiona
I
straight
call
in
him,
there.
I call him C wordy twat gag.
Oh no!
Do you want to see the next slide?
Oh,
Go
God,
on, then.
I hope it's not Doctor Who.
I'm going to try and read it because I'm going cross-eyed,
Oh
folks.
God, it is Doctor Who.
These are the episode lists, or names, should I say, for the episodes. So, first episode, written by Russell T. Davis, Space Babies.
And if you just stop there, right? I think the babies.
Babies!
Talk. I think they talk. I'm not sure. This is going to be interesting, though, isn't it? Because I'm not going to watch it. So maybe
Episode-
The second episode's me.
The Devil's Cord.
forward. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, that's the musical one, I think.
Oh God,
Shh, you'll be watching that one then.
With the Beatles,
absolutely not.
with the Beatles, apparently.
We're going to make you watch it.
Nah, I'm not watching any of this shit.
Isn't it a Beatles episode that has no Beatles music in it?
I don't know. I don't care. I really don't care. I really lost it with
Yeah,
Doctor
some
Who.
licensing
Total
issues.
shit.
Okay, see episode 3, possibly. Stephen Moffat. Boom!
Yeah.
Stephen Moffat turned weird. It'll be shit, same as the rest.
Okay.
It takes quite a hard turn toward the bleak with the final episode title, doesn't it? You've got all those nice little silly ones, and then suddenly it's Empire of Death.
There you go. I won't bother with the others.
It's a waste.
It sounds like
Shit, everybody.
the feel-good episode of the year.
And why is it only 8 episodes? I remember when season used to be like 13 episodes of Doctor Who.
Disney-fied, mate.
Yeah.
Everything's
thing-
getting Disney-fied.
The thing is, though, it's really. I mean, what's this? 8 here? Is it 8 episodes here?
8
but
episodes.
That includes the first 3, doesn't it? With David Tennant, so I guess it's 8, 9, 10, 11.
Possibly,
I think, so I
technically,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, technically, but I don't know. They like to separate them, you know. But this is not. He's not the Doctor though, because he doesn't. He gets pulled out of the other Doctor. So how could he be the Doctor? Oh, anyway,
These are all sex positions.
I can't be asked. Yeah, more.
I wouldn't recommend
Stephen-
doing a space baby.
Oh dear.
Again, I come back to Empire of Death. What kind of sex position is that?
A very
Spaceman babies.
dangerous one.
Jeez.
Yeah, Stephen Moffat used to be really good. I don't know if you remember it. Press
Yes.
Gang. He wrote that.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And he wrote Coupling, which was very funny until Jeff left, and then
So
they cancelled it.
Rogue, right, is set in the 19th century where there were wigs and stuff like that, like Bridgerton, and obviously, God, it looks like the Doctor's going to kiss a man in that one. I don't know, but it does seem that way, basically.
Is it meant to symbolize modern people who wear wigs?
I don't know, but this they destroyed Doctor Who completely, totally and utterly.
I gave up with what's her name? Can't even remember her name. Her first season.
Oh,
Whittaker.
Whittaker.
Yeah, Jodie Whittaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful.
I had 2 tries at season 1 and gave up. I had 2 good goes at it and gave up, and it was just
Yeah,
awful.
I also
never
watched
went back.
season 1.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
watched season
great.
one.
Yeah, I did. But the thing is, I like to point out, right, that again, trying to clear my name. There's nothing wrong with 2 men kissing, but having it in a kid's show, I don't think it's right. Personally, I don't think it's right.
But there's nothing wrong with 2 men kissing as
No,
long
there's
as
nothing, no.
two rules. There's 2 rules to that.
Mm.
I don't have to be one of the men, and I don't have to work. Otherwise,
Ian,
it's fine.
Yeah.
I can't quit you.
I can't quit you.
Quit you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
It's
yeah.
shit, everybody.
They,
It's killed. It's dead.
if you thought the last season they destroyed Doctor Who, this is the last nail in the coffin. Bang, that's it. It's gone. And I really get puzzled when people say, well, I'm gonna give it a chance. And I always say, did you not watch the last season? Did you not watch the 3 specials? And you're gonna give this a chance? It's because they can't let go, because they've been Doctor Who fans for so long, right? That
I
they
can't
just
wait to watch
can't
them
let
live
go.
streams.
They just cannot let
Yeah.
go of Doctor Who.
I can't wait.
But the
As
thing
much-
is, yeah, sorry, again. Sorry.
As much as I love Dan, he's far too
I-
enthusiastic for this new
I
season.
can't wait.
Well, no, I mean, Dan knows it's going to be crap, but he's a Doctor Who fan through and through. So he will watch it for his channel and for himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, right, the line has been drawn. And I'm sorry, I'm not stepping over it. I think this is just.
Dog shit,
It's
everybody.
just yeah, it's shit, basically. I can't
Couple
watch this.
super chats, if I may. Eggs BD for £3.46,
It's an odd number.
Yeah.
Mhm.
helping to keep the lights on. Thank you, my friend.
And get you some
Uh,
coffee as well, mate.
Yeah, I need coffee. Romeo Tango November Zulu for $2 New Zealand dollars. When will J.K. Rowling show up as a Doctor Who villain?
She's not a villain. She's a hero.
Hero.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
she's not pushing trans ideology
That's
on
right.
kids like Russell T Davis is.
Absolutely.
So
She's
there
a
you go.
hero.
On that bombshell. Shall we?
Please
move
don't let it be a
on?
sidestep.
I don't think it is.
Good. Oh no, from bad to worse.
This was the news this week. Star Trek Strange New Worlds will return for a 4th season. And the final season of Star Trek Lower Decks arrived on Paramount Plus this fall.
Again, not Star Trek. This is not Star Trek.
was-
Why?
Genuinely, I was shocked by Strange New Worlds getting a 4th.
Why
I'm
were you
shocked
shocked?
that
You knew what the writing was on the wall with these shows.
I thought it
Yeah.
was 3 seasons and done, but
No, Lower Decks has had 5. This is its 5th season. It's
They
ridiculous.
kept Discovery going as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Somebody must be watching it, surely.
No one's watching
Platoon.
it, getting the money. They're getting
I
the
think
money from
Paramount-
BlackRock.
Paramount just don't have any content.
Yeah, Strange New World is another one. I watched season 1 and I couldn't do any more. It was not good.
I bailed
think I-
halfway through season 1. It was just not doing it for me.
I made it to the end, but it was hard work.
they
When it
killed
becomes
the
hard work to
best-
watch something, that's when to bail.
Season 1, they killed the best character off last episode. Or was it the penultimate episode for some reason? Fuck knows why. It was
But
the musical episode that did me. I thought, no,
yes, I'm
that's it, I'm
saying,
out,
but you
I'm out.
you knew this is where it was going, and I don't know why you even trusted
The
first season.
optimist,
Well,
desperation.
how many times could you get hit on the head to realize that it's
Not
not good to
enough.
get hit on the head? Do you know what I mean?
I love Star Trek though.
Yeah, but you have to
it's
let it
in
go.
Star Trek is in my DNA from when I was a child, and
Watch
it
the old
hurts.
series. Watch the OGs, man.
Yeah, but I've
That's-
seen it a billion times as much as I love it.
This isn't Star Trek, Brown. This is something else in a Star Trek skin suit.
That's right.
It's just- sorry, folks.
Can you read out RNTNZ's most recent comment there? Or can you
Are
not read
you
that?
going to read it?
I can. I'm just wondering if it's allowed.
Oh no.
Am I reading it?
Yeah, you can say the F word.
Okay. Super chat from RRTNZ.
It's not super
for,
chat. It's just a normal.
No, for one spanner. I bailed on Strange New Worlds after season 1 when Kirk showed up as a pussy. Fuck this show.
Pussycat.
Fuck it up its big fat bum.
That's
There we
not
go.
good.
Anson Mount, great actor. Just
Agreed.
Yeah, well, he's getting paid, so he doesn't care, does he? Yeah.
He wasn't even in season 2 much because I think he was doing dad duties in real life, so they kind of wrote him out a little bit. Captain of the Enterprise.
I saw a clip from, and I don't know what season it was, from Discovery, and that comedian girl with the dark hair was the captain told her to do something, or someone told her to do something. She just said, "Get off my ass! Why don't you?" I remember she said something like that. It's like that's what a chain of command. And what? Why would you say that to someone that's? Oh, anyway,
Well, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't,
But
would
anyway,
you?
No.
No.
I don't think they've heard of chain of command in California, though, have they?
Well, the writers haven't, obviously.
But anyway, shall we?
Chain of command is a sex toy in California.
Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yeah, why don't you?
Okay,
Sidestep?
Sidestep.
CinemaCon was going on this week
Yeah, it was a big
in
con.
wherever it was.
Las Vegas.
This is Kevin Feige.
Are you sure it's him? He's so small.
He's got
I thought he
baseball
was
cap
taller
on.
than that.
What is this, a Feige for ants?
We make movies for movie theaters, making them an event. Used to.
That's where we belong.
Where they belong. Well, he used to, mate.
Yeah.
And was the Marvels an event?
After a
Yes, it
fashion.
was.
Yes.
Yeah, in the way that like an asteroid strike is technically an event.
I'm 52. When you get to my age, a bowel movement's an event.
You know what that picture looks like? Somebody's that Feige's really tiny, and somebody's got a big lightsaber, red lightsaber. It's going to hit him in the head.
Well, it's not going to kill him.
No, he'll get better.
Okay, we'll blast through these because there's quite a few stills from
Marvel
CinemaCon.
Studios.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Kevin Feige,
Kevin Buckle of
Feige,
Sticks. There you
that
go.
as well, says Fantastic Four will be filmed with IMAX theaters in mind.
Why?
Cool.
Cool.
guess.
I don't
What about-
care.
Don't
Yeah.
care. Just don't care.
What about stories for the customers?
Exactly. Just
Hey
don't
guys,
care.
I know we've just given you a female Silver Surfer and you all hate it, but it's going to be an IMAX and that'll make it all better.
Yeah.
No.
We've just given you, what's his name?
See,
What's it?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, as Mr. Fantastic, and we all should be happy about that. Come on.
hello, Timmy. Timmy's not taking it. Who cares?
He's
Bollocks.
Yeah.
It's okay though, because it's for a theater. So that's why we're supposed to care that it's filmed with IMAX theaters in mind.
It's just fucking bullshit, folks. Just
It's
utter
also, what
bullshit.
is the logical extension of that? Is he actually sort of admitting that people say, well, at least it's not on Disney Plus? You know, the
Maybe.
other thing that we make things for.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, look, we have a gimmick. We have another gimmick. Look at the shiny keys.
Mm,
Oh, good.
First clip of Captain America Brave New World shows Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross wanting to restart the Avengers but disagreeing with Sam Wilson.
They've got to do better.
Yeah.
You gotta do better, Mega Geek.
What a load of old bollocks, eh? I'm just
That's
upset.
that's
he's
a
not bothered.
yeah, that's a great way to sell the movie that you've already pushed back and are doing reshoots for. A clip of people arguing. Great.
He isn't doing better.
No, and also Harrison Ford looks like he's going to drop soon, so I don't understand why they've. Well, I do understand why they've cast him, but he doesn't even look like. Has he got like a moustache like Thunderbolt Ross? I mean, what does he look like as Thunderbolt Ross?
Don't care, don't know.
You're absolutely right there.
This is going to be one of the probably the most expensive film ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the budget so far?
Well, I think it's been shot about 4 times.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So it's $500 million.
$500 million?
Once you put all marketing and stuff like that when it comes in, I think it'll be well over 400. Well over.
So who's in charge of the Avengers then? Who's the one that's leading the charge of this new Avengers?
Miss Marvel.
Oh,
No, I think they've gotten rid of her character, no? Because
yeah,
That was a
even
joke.
Brie Larson doesn't know she's coming back.
If she's got any sense, she won't.
I don't think she wants to come back.
No, she ain't coming back.
No.
What's his name? Tom Hiddleston said he might not be coming back as Loki again.
Yeah, I don't
But-
blame him.
Oh, there's another person who isn't. Bucky. Bucky Barnes isn't coming back either.
And also, they haven't
Sebastian
got
Stan.
Spider-Man anymore, have they? So Tom Holland.
Yeah, here you go. Oldest gamer. Thank you, my friend. 500 million minimum with
Oh my
3.
God.
It's not just like scenes. 3 complete movie reshoots, effectively.
They could
Maybe
probably make a pretty spectacular mega cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
7 hours of gibberish.
Is he still wearing the trainers? Well, it looks like a white trainer, doesn't he? His costume. Falcon.
Yeah, like a big
Captain
trainer,
America thing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just ridiculous.
We'll sidestep.
There it is. He's wearing a
Marvel
Nike trainer as a
star
costume.
Anthony Mackie says Captain America Brave New World will serve as a clear reset for the MCU. It is a new storyline with new characters, with new beliefs.
But
cool.
characters we don't care about. Though.
Okay.
But almost every modern Marvel film has a new storyline with new characters and new beliefs. I mean, technically, the Marvels had that, and Ant-Man
Yes.
3 also had that.
Yes.
It's that doesn't amount to a reset. That just means you keep expanding your cast and you have no sense of direction. Like, I would like to see a complete reset, but that would basically involve destroying the entire multiverse, which I would also be in favor of, but they won't do it.
Well, there's a rumor that Deadpool's going to do that
That would be nice.
to reset everything. So interesting.
Good
Yeah, but-
opportunity. Hope he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, but they took the piss out of us. I don't want to go back.
Yeah, I don't. I'm probably not going to
I'm
go and
done.
see this film. I'm done with Marvel stuff and Disney
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
done with it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna see
same.
Deadpool at all, or just gonna wait on
Yeah,
that?
well, yeah, I might go and see Deadpool because I like Ryan Reynolds, but I'm not going to go and see this Captain
I don't
America. It
think-
looks awful.
I don't think any of us are done with it, really, done with this or done with Star Wars. I think we'll just stick with it and kind of done with it for now. But if something came out and everybody said it was good, we'd all watch it.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, but we're all,
Very-
we're all,
Very unlikely, but I mean,
we're
it just
all
means we're
racists
not.
and
It just means we're
bigots
not done.
and-
It just
I
means we're
know
not done.
exactly what you
It's-
mean, Melvin, but
We've still got some
I
hope.
don't-
We'd come back if somebody said something was
No
good.
hope.
yeah, you might be right. I don't
We're
know.
all gonna go see Deadpool, right? So I think that's a
Yeah, I'm
sign that
gonna
we're
see-
not
yeah,
done with
yeah.
the MCU. Quite, yeah.
Hmm.
Hopefully, Vex will give it a good review, or
I
not.
mean, I could be controversial here and bring up Andor again. Andor could get good. If something happens in season 2, it could get good.
Well, it wasn't good in the first season, so
There was
It's
nothing wrong with it
controversial.
except the lack of action. It needed some action.
It just slow.
But I mean,
shit.
compared to anything else Disney Star Wars related, it's at least 100
No,
times better
they-
than Obi-Wan, say.
They
It's just-
disrespected their customers, and they knew what they were doing. That it wasn't by accident. They knew what they were doing, and
It's
they
by
couldn't get past it.
design. Mm.
Okay,
Oh,
sidestep.
dear.
First glimpse of Captain America Brave New World included Captain America being attacked in the White House and a first look at Harrison Ford, blah, blah, blah.
That's right. I
So
think you read that headline wrong. It's Falcon being attacked in the White House,
that
not
as
Captain
well.
America. Yeah.
Captain Faux America.
Yeah.
But this is because in the comics it wasn't him as Captain America; it was Bucky.
thought
So
it
Yeah,
was
they
why
even
funny,
had
but
the
I've not
setup
seen it.
for Bucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why they changed it? I don't understand.
Because he's not black. Bucky's not black enough.
because he's blood black.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
this. I thought that as well. Yeah, I thought that. They're not even subtle about it.
Mm.
It's just
Disney
bullshit,
needs to
folks.
do better.
It's
You
just
pronounced
dog
that
shit.
wrong. It's subtle.
It's dog shit, everybody. As much as
I'm
I
also
like
just
Anthony
Never mind.
Mackie.
looking at that costume design and remembering it's the first of the Avengers films when Cap gets given his suit. He says,
Yeah.
"Isn't this a bit old fashioned?" And
Yeah.
he said, "I think with what's about to happen, I think people need a little bit of the old fashioned right about now." And then you look at this, and it's just that you've got no design philosophy. Like the entire point of the character has been lost with this because
Yeah.
this is the opposite of what Captain America is supposed to represent, or rather, what he was once supposed to represent. I suppose this is exactly what he's supposed to represent now, whatever the fuck that means.
This looks like the outfit the athletes used to wear in the 1990s at the Olympics. It was something like that. You had flaggy jumpsuit things.
This kind of looks like cosplay lingerie, if that makes sense. Like, you know
It
how there are
does.
some girls that will buy like the superhero themed lingerie sets. That's what this kind of looks like.
But you know what?
Lingerie.
Jesus.
The second costume that Captain America wore, which was in oh god, I can't even remember it now. The
Winter
best
Soldier.
Captain America. Yeah, I loved that costume. I thought that
That was the
costume
best
was
one.
right on. Yeah, it was really right on. And
Great
maybe they
movie.
should have taken that kind of design and you know try and make it for this character. But obviously, they went for the full costume, cartoon version, didn't they? Oh, sorry, comic version. Isn't it? It's
Mhm.
close to the comic version, isn't it?
I think we could have been at a stage now if they hadn't have taken the piss. They could be doing $1 billion every movie.
Thing is, though,
Definitely.
all
Definitely.
the popular characters are
But
gone now, aren't they?
The message. Z, you available, mate? Please.
I am. Black Lives or Black Knives or 199 says, if you don't do better, you ain't black, Senator. Ooh.
Oh dear.
Okay, let's move on. I think we've put that one to bed.
Oh, we were just talking about this one.
Kevin Feige says
Feige.
Feige
Feige. There you go.
Feige.
says Deadpool and Wolverine is fucking awesome. I'm
Well,
allowed
that-
to say
yeah.
that it's R-rated.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
believe a
yeah.
single word out of his mouth.
Exactly. As we're going to believe him.
Didn't
if James
he say
Cameron
like
said that Terminator Genesis was good, I'm not going to believe anyone from Hollywood anymore.
yeah, didn't Feige say like Thor 4, Ant-Man 3 was amazing
Yes.
too or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
So
football score? Moving on.
doesn't mean anything, unfortunately.
Mm.
I can tell. You know, you can tell when Feige's lying because his mouth moves.
That's
You
an
see
old
what I
one.
did there?
Yes.
Anyway, let's move on. I think it's Feige news, everybody. Deadpool has been chosen to save the sacred timeline from a potential looming threat, according to the TBA's agent Paradox. Does this mean loads of gratuitous cameos?
Well, according to loads of reports, it does. So, you know,
Does
whatever.
Why has discussing
Gratuitous-
film left out the question mark? Does this mean loads of gratuitous cameos? Question. They didn't even put a
Yeah.
period there.
Mm.
What does gratuitous mean in that context? If it means boobs, I'm all in.
Oh no, just lots of like stellar cameos, like lots of
Yay, cameos.
fan loved cameos. There you go. No tits.
To get
It's
the
Disney
fans,
now.
to get the go on.
They've no right to disappoint me like that.
Well, I've heard that they do the visual effects, but they put him into some of the Marvel movies. So, you know.
Oh,
There
maybe
you
those
go.
are the quote unquote cameos then, if they're just shopping him into a bunch of scenes.
So there you go.
There you go. Is it cameo and switch? You see what I did there?
They can't go back to the heyday of how Marvel was. I mean, it was almost, it wasn't perfect, the Marvel films, but they were really entertaining. You can't go back because they're established now. I mean, Robbie Downey Jr. he is Iron Man. Do you know what I mean? And Thor and all of them, and now they're trying to replace them with B-list heroes from the comics that's been mucked around by
Brie. She's
Brie, the Brie. Yeah,
Well, this
so-
is where
Realist.
yeah, I don't know what
this-
they're gonna do.
This is where the multiverse comes in handy, right? Just like what they did in No Way Home. Now
Yeah.
you can have all three versions of Spider-Man. Now you can have three versions of Captain America, of Iron Man, of Black Widow. It opens the door for so many more possibilities, so they don't have to adhere to what's already been established. Unfortunately, it's pretty intentional that that's why they did that.
Well, as I said, there's a rumor that what you call it, Deadpool's gonna destroy it all.
Hmm
It's destroyed anyway, so
Yeah,
it doesn't make any difference.
no, it doesn't.
All arse gravy from now.
Mm.
Marvel. Arse gravy.
How many fucks do we give? None.
0. Okay, let's move on then.
Oh, no. This is for the
look at
Lord.
this.
This is for the
The
Lord.
first
There it's
episode of
at. This is
Velma
actually
season
exciting.
2. Yeah. Max, April 25, Lord. You excited? Look at that.
Oh yes, yeah, can't wait.
Special
Looks,
place in your heart, this.
Looks incredible. Yes, for nostalgic reasons, revisiting Velma. Hooray! All I need now is She-Hulk, and I'll get another 100,000 subscribers. It'll be lovely.
Are you going to do reviews? Review, yes.
I'll probably do at least one, just for old time's sake. And then
Oh,
we'll
you
see what
should
it's
do,
like.
yes.
Really, I don't know. But then I said I'd only do one last time, and people bullied me into doing the whole thing. So it's possible that will happen again.
Velma made you, though.
That She-Hulk and Thor: Love and Thunder
More
and
Velma,
Rings of Power.
though. Yeah, more
And
Velma.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Oh no, well, Obi-Wan was like the first that sort of did reliably good numbers, and then but it was that sort of few
Velma.
month period when all these things came along, and yeah, it came at a nice time. They all
Was that
came
last
together.
year or the year before?
What year are we in now?
Past.
question.
No, it'd be 2 years ago.
20
Jesus.
And
something.
yeah, I want to say it was
2 years ago.
Was it? Yeah, about that.
Christ.
Well, didn't Velma? No, She-Hulk ran into 2023, or did Velma also
Just.
run into 2023? I can't remember exactly how it worked. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do to top season 1, which was such great comedy, really good stuff.
Yep.
There you go, then.
Platoon's on the case. When that arrives, he'll be on the case.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on then.
Ugh.
Okay. Monarch Legacy of Monsters has been renewed for season 2. Apple will also develop new Monsterverse shows.
Why does everybody want to create verses? Monster
Money.
hero
Merch.
verse,
Money, money, money.
women verse, men
Yeah.
verse.
It
It's
also
all
takes
part
the
of the bigger
responsibility.
picture.
Yeah, it
The
takes
bigger
the
picture, the
responsibility.
moneyverse.
Yeah, they don't have to create anything too if you just create a verse. You don't have to be as creative or ingenuitive.
You just
Yeah.
need one
So-
good idea and then beat it to death for 20 films.
Yeah, or in this case with Monarch season 1, just take one idea and painfully stretch it out over 10 episodes and do absolutely nothing.
Here you go, common people. Watch season 1. I'm out. Z, you watched it, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched season 1. I was quite looking forward to season 2 with the return of Monk. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
There's a lot of Godzilla stuff on the go recently. Is the character of Godzilla public domain?
I think is that 100 years? Is it? Is it 100 years? After
I
100
don't
years,
know.
it's
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Well,
a question.
these are all tied to the current American MonsterVerse films. So Godzilla 2014, even Godzilla versus Kong, the latest one, Godzilla versus like those are all in this universe.
Right. So what about Godzuki then? Are they putting him in there? No.
Mm,
I think it'll just stay in the cartoons, I think.
Maybe if they open up a multiverse, maybe.
Yeah.
No, hands off Godzuki. He's innocent and does not deserve to be dragged into this shit.
Okay, let's.
They could have had Godzuki instead of Rokongu.
Yeah.
But you know, there is a question, isn't it? Is it public domain now? That's why the two
Don't
countries
think
can make
so.
this. Is it like 100 years, then it becomes public? I
100,
can't remember what the rules are.
It's Mickey Mouse that's.
Yeah, but it's
just
only
on
it's a certain version of Mickey Mouse you can use. They
So
still have the rights.
Yeah, you can only use
to-
the Steamboat Willie version
That's
of
it.
Mickey.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
the original Godzilla film apparently came out in 1954. So the earliest it will enter U.S. public domain is 2049.
Oh, so they do
Blade
have the
Runner.
rights then.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
fall under Japanese copyright law?
It does for now, yeah. So that means
Yeah.
they've licensed out the character or whatever, but
I
I
it's
think
owned
is
by
it Toho?
Toho.
Yeah, Toho
Yeah.
still owns the original and has contracted and licensed with like Sony. I think owns some of the rights, and there's a few other companies that will be involved. I can't remember who's doing the current MonsterVerse films, but they have just got an arrangement, I suppose, with Toho, which allows them to use the character.
That's great then. I guess.
Well, it's great if you do good things with the character, or
decent
you
stuff,
can
yeah.
make Godzilla X Kong, in which case it's bad. But
That did well though, apparently, didn't it?
I know it's
Speak of the
tragic.
devil. Here you go. Kongzilla. I want to call it Kongzilla. The new empire has passed 400 million worldwide. Kongzilla, folks.
Where does this photo come from? There's no Apache helicopters in the movie.
I don't know.
Oh no, there are. When they go and try to shoot Godzilla in France, they come in. There's a shot of
those are
helicopters there.
drones. They're like unmanned aerial vehicles, drones.
No, we see the
From
guys like shooting
Iran.
in the helicopters, don't we?
We do? I don't think we do.
Maybe it was in a different
You-
scene. There is a
yeah,
scene
you-
with helicopters, though. There is.
I think maybe the focus was out in the cinema in India that.
No, they fire missiles definitely from drones. When Godzilla's eating the nuclear power plant in France, they fire missiles from drones. I don't think we get any helicopter shot shooting. Not in that scene, anyway. Maybe there's another one I've forgotten.
Yeah, I feel like we did see helicopters. That's why. Ugh.
Well, I mean, do we get the impression that a lot of kids just piled into the cinema to see this film?
Yeah, lots of very
No.
irresponsible
With, like,
parents
families
took them
and
to see
stuff.
it.
Yeah. Because there's really
I
nothing
think-
to see in the cinema, is there now? Let's face it.
There's that,
Omen.
and I really do
Omen.
think, as much as we like to complain that critic standards have lowered, audience standards have lowered even more
Well, they
to
don't
get
have a
400
choice.
million to this
Well, they're
shit.
clueless.
Well, they don't have a choice, do they? Because they want to be entertained.
Well,
Unless
it's
closest, then they're going to.
there's a difference between wanting to be entertained and then just like watching good cinema. Like even just like as a blockbuster event, there wasn't nearly enough monsters, situations, or fights to justify going to see this in a theater.
Right.
So it's just like compared to
Really?
like Godzilla versus Kong, the previous movie, that was far more of a cinema going experience
It's a great
compared to
movie.
this.
There is someone on Twitter right now accusing me of being a tourist who's trying to raise the standards of the property.
Imagine
and
having standards.
has compared it to someone like watching Warhammer and saying that the Space Marines are Nazis. I don't know how this works in the minds of these people, but there's lots of very, very, very silly people who really love this film and this franchise. It has big monsters in it. They get very offended if you point out that the big monster movie is dumb as hell. All I'm trying to do is to say that if you really love these characters, you should probably demand better for them rather than defending the schlock that Hollywood gives you. But who am I to raise the standards on your behalf?
Stop spreading misinformation, Platoon.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Lord,
it was
pack it in.
awesome.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh no!
Rewind slightly. Just
Oh no!
King Kong, the character, is public domain because the
Oh, is he?
copyright on the original book apparently was never renewed. So if you want to make a King Kong movie, you can.
Okay. I saw the trailer for this.
It looked terrible.
Didn't the boss gets arrested or something like that? They have to prove his innocence, and then they get accused of something. They are on the run, and yeah, it just looks a bit rubbish, really. But anyway,
They all looked just like slow and geriatric. Like there
Yeah.
was no reason. Like it was the most painfully boring trailer for an action movie that I've ever seen.
But you know what, right? So Will Smith still looks okay, but Martin
I was going to make
Lawrence,
this point, yes.
yeah, he's just putting a crap load of weight. Couldn't he not have hit the gym or something
Yep.
before he made this film?
In Martin Lawrence's defense, okay,
Right. Mhm.
Will Smith married Jada Pinkett on Epstein Island, and we know what
Jeez.
Epstein is doing with those kids. So Will's got that,
Ah.
that magic juice, we'll say.
Here you go, MGK4. Bad Boys 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Is this 4? Is this number 4?
Yeah, I think no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's so
I
Bad
think
Boys
this is-
1 and 2, and then we had 3, and this is 4. Yes, this is number 4.
Bad Boys 2 was good. 1 was okay. I didn't watch 3.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I watched 3. I thought it was terrible. But I just hope that so is Will Smith married in this film? His character?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this film sucks.
Bad
man.
Boys Park and Ride.
A lot of people are going to watch it though. A lot of people are going to. I reckon this
Are
is
you
going to
sure?
make
Because
money.
nobody liked the third one, and there was that TV show that flopped as well. I don't think people are interested. Just like the trailer alone
seen
kind
any
of
of 'em.
shows that there's not a lot to go on, because everything that they put in there's just no action in the trailer whatsoever.
No, there is a lot of action. I don't know which trailer you saw, but there is a lot of action in the trailer. It just looks stale. The whole thing looks like you've seen it all before.
That's
Yeah.
sorry. That's what I'm more trying to say. Yeah,
Oh, right,
it's
okay.
stale. Yeah.
Because like I remember when they made what is it? I remember seeing the first trailer for Beverly Hills Cop 3, and it was the same story. It was the boss gets killed. Eddie Murphy has to go and find out who killed his old boss. It's the same thing with this as well.
Foley in here?
Bosses, yeah, his boss, their boss. It's the same story. Their boss is in trouble, whatever, and then they're on the run because they're trying to defend their boss. And the same thing in 3 of Beverly Hills. It's the same story. It's just, can they not come up with something better?
Here you go, punchable face. Hello, my friend. Can you see what he did there? Look.
Yeah.
B4D boys. Very good. Very good.
Thinking man.
Someone asked what the budget was. There's no budget for this one, but the last one was 90 million.
Wow.
That was catering.
But it was the last one was a success, right?
Let's see. Yeah, $426.5 million at the box office.
What? Lord, are you available to read a super chat, please?
Why not? Jay Cooley for $19.99. My happiness lives or dies by Platoon's coverage of Velma Season
pressure.
2. No pressure. Well, I can't be having death on my hands, so I guess I'm going to have to cover it.
Dun, dun, dun.
You must cover it. It made you.
Who you are.
I did look, actually, no, it was only last year, Velma. It was not 2020, whenever 2. It was early 2023 that Season 1 came out. Or at least that's when my videos came out.
Was before that, wasn't it? Wasn't that like summer 2022?
That was it. Yeah, it was the end of 2022 because everyone was saying She-Hulk must be probably like the worst thing ever. And then 2 months later at most, Velma Season 1 even comes out. And then it's nope, there are still new depths that we have not yet visited.
Tell me something about Velma. I didn't watch it, right? But
She wears glasses.
There was a lot of people having panic attacks over it. And one of the things they were saying was that they don't like men and they don't like white men, and Fred had a tiny penis or something.
Cockroaches.
And I'm thinking, I thought it was a bit weird that people were getting so excited over it. But what I'm wondering is, do you think that was like an attack on white men, or do you think it was just meant to be a joke? Because I don't know. I've not watched it.
It was hateful.
I would say both. I think that was the funny thing about it, and the reason it's so fun to sort of tear apart is that it's something that somebody thought was funny, and it's so unfunny that, and it's also it's so on the nose as well in its messaging that even people on that side of politics were trying to disown it because it is so badly done and unfunny and just generally cringe. That lots of people were saying, no, this doesn't really represent what we think at all. But actually, it basically does. That's what makes it so perfect as a piece of entertainment.
Well. was mean
Quite mean-spirited, yeah. I mean, they did turn Fred into the arrogant, rich white boy, which was basically the butt of every single joke. That was the only joke. That and the fact that he has a tiny penis and hasn't gone through puberty yet. But every time he was there, it's like, Fred has a tiny penis. Also, he's white and rich, so it doesn't matter if he gets hurt. Yeah, you thought this was great, didn't you? It wasn't even funny the first time. But number 16, no, you're still going? Okay, 17, 18, 19 jokes. Nope, still not funny. But you really, really thought it was, so well done.
Well, you've got another season to chew over. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'll give it a miss then.
Okay, Guy Ritchie says Henry Cavill always stands up when a woman enters the room.
Okay, I can explain this. He's been
I can explain this too.
He's been celibate for a year, and he gets a bit excited when a woman walks into the room.
If Henry wants to stand when I get in when he comes in a room and there's a woman, I will get on my knees for him then as he stands. Just saying.
Same.
Thank you, Z.
Dear, oh dear.
There you go.
Well, I mean, what is this? Isn't news, is it? For God's sakes, what
It
is it?
isn't. No, it's just a Cavill fluff.
Is
we'll
a
say.
gentleman. Is a gentleman.
God.
Isn't it?
Quite in
When
contrast
news
to
used be news.
contrast to what Alan Richardson was saying
Yeah.
this past week. That's
Yeah.
all.
No, but
I really
let's
like
not.
Henry
Let's
Cavill,
not.
right? I don't think he's the best actor in the world, but I think it could be the biggest actor in the world if he got some decent parts. And I really think he should be in everything because he suits just about any part. Just about. I would like to see him in more stuff, but I really don't want to see him in this new Highlander thing. Because
I think
Really?
it should be. I think it should be Bond, personally.
Highlander didn't need remade. It doesn't need touched. It was perfect as it was.
you
There
go.
can only be one.
Indeed.
Henry Cavill confirms that he has already started training for Chad I'll start again. Stahelski's Highlander. If you think you've seen me do sword work before, you haven't seen nothing yet, Vex.
I'm less interested in that. I'm more interested in the amount of training he's going to have to do to get that terrible accent nailed.
Pork sword.
I don't eat pork, so that's why I said meat sword.
Well, so hold on, but so he's meant to be Scottish in the film, right?
Scottish.
But Chris Lambert, whatever his name is,
Lambert.
he didn't even bother trying to put a Scottish
He was
accent on in the film, did he?
Yeah, Lambert.
He
He
just
No,
invented a whole new accent. but
Yeah,
they didn't
he
even know where
tried.
was from.
He
He
tried.
tried. He's from Belgium, I think.
I think he's French.
Christopher
isn't he?
Lambert.
Is he French or Belgian?
French, isn't he?
No, he speaks
Lambert
French.
is a French name, isn't it?
You have a strange accent, Nash.
There you go, Austin Woods. He was
I have
French.
I have to Google it now.
Where are you
Where
from?
did I get
Nash?
Belgium from? Where
Don't
did I
know.
get Belgium from? From Belgium, probably.
Yeah. You're thinking of
Yeah,
the chocolate.
French actor. There you go. I don't know. Van Damme's Belgian. There you go. I'll recover.
I do like Highlander. There are certain things I don't
Never
like
got
about
to
the
it.
first movie, but I still think it's a great movie. Personally,
It's fun. It's
I
very
don't.
fun.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be remade though. Personally, what else can you do to it? You can make the action more better than the way it was done in the original.
I think
But
that's what, given that it's Chad behind it, I think that's
Yeah.
what it will be. It'll just be
Yeah.
an action-oriented epic more than anything.
Yeah, and I wonder who's playing the Kurgan though. That's the
I
question.
don't think we've heard any other casting news, in all
No,
honesty.
just Cavill.
Cavill's playing the Highlander. Then he's not playing the Kurgan. He's
Yes.
playing the Highlander. Okay.
Who would you pick?
I
For the
don't
Kurgan?
know. Because what's his name? Clancy made it so iconic, didn't he?
Yeah.
How could you top that?
Well, that got him his career, didn't it? That was his
Yeah,
break.
it did. Yeah. And also, remember, Sean Connery was a big part of it as well. So, who would you get to play that? Or is it Ramirez? Who would you get to play Ramirez?
Oh, that's going to be somebody. They got to pick like an actual Spaniard, right? So it's going to be
Antonio.
Yeah,
Antonio
no,
Banderas
no.
or Javier
Antonio
Bardem, maybe.
Banderas.
Yeah. They don't have to be a Spaniard.
Here's who I would pick. I would pick Josh Brolin for Ramirez.
Oh, that's a good choice.
No more poetry.
Oh, yes, more poetry. It'll be about Cavill then. Hold on.
Pedro Pascal.
No, please
He's
no.
in everything else. Pascal. They're all
it-
going.
it's good because you remember that scene in it where Sean Connery chucks him in the water and he can't swim, and then he's at the bottom of the sea going, "I can breathe." he starts walking at the bottom. I wonder how Henry's going to do that. So unless they cut that scene out of it, of course. I always thought that was funny when I saw it at the cinema.
CGI.
Yeah, probably.
Brolin needs to play Kurgan.
Maybe.
Don't think he's big enough, like tall enough.
No, he's not, is he?
Because the Kurgan was meant to be like 7 feet tall, wasn't it, in the first film?
Oh, you can just use special effects for that. I don't think the height is a huge deal, in all
And
honesty.
also the bit in the church when the Kurgan says that famous line. I mean, how's that going to work? Because Clancy made it his own. So how? I give up.
Maybe
this
you're
is not
thinking
it.
too hard about this because we don't know
Probably.
enough to
Yeah,
ask all
probably.
these questions yet. So
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Okay, let's move on then. Let's move on.
Oh, hello.
Keanu Reeves returns as John Wick in Ballerina. First trailer for CinemaCon includes a ton of sword action sequences featuring Anna de Armas and a glimpse of Norman Reedus.
I love Anna de Armas. Love her.
now they brought Keanu's the reason why they pushed this back for all the reshoots.
Mm.
Remember? So
Why? What did he do?
he wasn't in. I think he had maybe like one brief scene in the original one, if I remember reading that
Yeah.
correctly, and then they pushed it back because they wanted more of him for reshoots.
So is this a prequel then, or is it?
It's a prequel. Sort of prequel.
But you know what they should I hope they do this. They're probably not going to do it. Bob Odenkirk should have a cameo in this as well because he's part of that
Nobody.
universe. Yeah, he's part of the universe. It's
Oh,
a
that would
shame.
No,
Be interesting.
be
But
awesome.
if it's a prequel, how would that work?
Well, he has to look younger.
we're same universe, isn't
Well,
it?
they did it for Saul.
They did, yeah.
Have you seen a film with these two in called Knock Knock?
Yes, I have, and
yes.
it was terrible. But Anna de Armas was naked.
I know, but
I-
she's always naked in her
enjoyed it.
films, isn't she?
Yes.
Fair,
enough.
yeah.
Not enough.
She was complaining about the dress in the Bond film. She was going, "I'm almost naked in this dress," and I'm like,
Oh,
"No, you're
Yes,
not."
yes, you are.
No,
Yeah.
spot on.
maybe another threesome in this one. Maybe that's
Who
also the
knows?
reason
Who
for
knows?
reshoots.
I do like. I think she's got some. I think she's no. I shouldn't go that way. I just think that she's got stardom coming out of her. So I think she just needs the one film that will push her to, to
Stellar
the top.
heights.
Yeah.
Possibly won't happen though. But anyway, let's move on.
Brilliant.
The American Society of Magical. I'm allowed to say this, aren't I? Negroes.
think
Yes,
so.
you are.
Has been
Yes.
pulled from theatres after only 3 weeks. Finished with 2.4 at the box office, 28 score on Rotten Tomatoes. Budget estimated to be 15.
It's a bit of a slap, isn't it?
It is.
What did you
yes.
expect when your title says magical Negroes?
Yeah.
I'm sure if they just named this anything else, it probably would have at least broken even on budget. Any other name.
I
Mm.
think it was supposed to be released in the UK in a couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to get released now. I may be
not,
wrong.
Not even black people will see this film. And that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay, I think the less we talk about it,
Yeah.
the better. Let's move on. It's a lot of old bollocks.
What's
Nobody
this?
liked that movie.
Who's that person?
Okay,
What?
yeah, the story,
who is that?
28 years later, Nia DaCosta in talks to direct second film in the Sony trilogy.
Why? Because she's black.
Somebody called Vex Electronica said, well, there goes a lot of my hype for 28 years later. Boyle's going to do the first one, isn't he? Danny Boyle.
Yeah,
Right.
Danny Boyle's going to come back and do the first one, and then that will start a new trilogy. So Nia DaCosta's in talk for the second film. And a lot of people are pretty tarded and couldn't understand the English. So I'm just explaining it in case those same people are reading this and wondering, oh, there's already a second film out, though.
But why have they got her to direct it?
She's in talks, that's all. It's not solid, but it's Sony, and she's a black woman.
Which
So,
film did she do recently? Remind me.
The
The
Marvel.
Marvels.
Oh, right. That's a great film. Yeah, I'm up
And
for that.
then, even if you want to look at her track record in horror, she did that god awful Candyman remake in, I think it was 2020 or 2021. So, just as a director, she doesn't have a good track record. So I don't know why you would look at her.
You go, Princess Fiona. She can lose 300 million easier than anyone else. Be good at
Probably.
something.
Mm.
Easier than Alex Jones.
You go, Joe Darkness, hard pass.
What's that? What, is there somebody stepping on your foot there, Vex, in that picture? He looks like
Oh
you're
no,
in
just
what?
a silly face. That's all.
Ah, I see.
Just a silly face. Yeah.
Okay. So we're kind of looking forward to the first one, but if she does the second, it's a no, yes.
Well, I'm slightly interested in the first one. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it particularly. I don't really know where you can go with this. I think it's just another example of let's revive appropriately enough, take something that's dead and bring it back to life and put it on the screen again because we have no other ideas. I don't really know what 28 years. What does 28 weeks later end as? That's when they've
The second
retaken
one.
Britain, haven't they? And then they
And then
lose
they
it
lose it.
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you've had 28 years to solve this problem. If you haven't, then you're idiots and you should all be dead and there shouldn't be a film.
Did
That's what-
Os-
Oh wait,
Did
no, 'cause
Os-
I remember the final scene. Sorry, the final scene in 28 weeks later is that the infection reaches France, doesn't it? I think.
Yes, they're looking
Not
over
a bad
at
thing,
the
man.
tower.
No,
yeah.
bad, no loss there at all. It's just basically France as it currently is, but slightly angrier. Yeah, so I mean, you could do a worldwide zombie plague. Effectively, then it just becomes a prequel to The Walking Dead.
Mm.
I was wondering why they skipped months and went straight to years, but it's so they can bring back Cillian Murphy, right? Because he
Yes,
was
they
in the
did do it,
first
yeah.
one, and now he's on board for the second one.
Yeah, Oscar winner.
Or sorry, the third one. Yeah.
Mm.
So there you go. Let's move on.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, this has been kicking off this week. Sylvester Stallone has been accused of creating a toxic environment on the Atlanta set of the Paramount Plus drama series Tulsa King by making disparaging comments about background actors.
So somebody said, right, the reason why he did it, and I don't know if this is true, is because the actual company itself sent them people, background people that was wrong for the scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were being all kind of, diverse and all that stuff, and they were
Fatties
sending
and ugly
people.
people. And
Yeah,
all that.
that didn't belong in the background of the scene, of the setting of the scene, and that's why he said, well, why have they sent us these people? And somebody overheard him saying it, but he was literally talking about the scene and how they've sent them the wrong people because they're so into diversity. They've sent the wrong people and it doesn't match the scene. That's what somebody said. That's why he said it, because Sylvester Stallone isn't a bigot or a whatever. In real life, he's apparently he's a very nice guy. I don't know.
I'm gonna watch Tulsa King now just because you told me that.
Yeah, I don't know. Might not be true, but that's what I've
No, I
heard.
can appreciate someone that wants to go because it's like when they make these period pieces these days and they make a black English queen in like 1700s Britain, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. So I can appreciate someone that like enjoys their craft enough to try and be at least like honor it the best he can for whatever time period.
Because I think I heard it was a scene in a gymnasium or something like that, and the extras didn't match.
They were
what was
trying to
happening
recreate a
or
scene
something.
from
I don't know.
season one.
Were they?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
right.
flashback scene.
Right, gotcha. But I like the show though. I'm glad
It's
it's
a great
coming
show.
back. Yeah, I'm glad
How
it's
many
coming back.
seasons?
Just this is the second season. This one.
Okay.
You know, these days when they start calling people misogynists and things like that, that makes me want to watch things they're in.
Yep.
It means
Yeah.
they're probably doing something right.
Who
Uh-huh.
has seen season one?
Me.
Yeah, so I thought it was great.
It's great, yeah.
Lot of
Vex,
fun.
seen it?
No.
Check
This is
it out.
one
It's
of those
great.
things.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. If he's doing this
Yeah,
shit,
it's really
I will
good.
definitely watch it now.
There's a scene in it where he's in the car and he's talking to one of the people that
Oh,
he recruited, and he was talking about how bad the whole woke thing is in the car. That was quite interesting.
Yeah,
In season
Nice.
one, yeah.
there you go. Fantastic. I enjoyed Tulsa King. It's a great
Mm.
program.
It is. It's good.
It was
It's
a
good show.
surprise hit. It was really good.
It's a shame that we've waited this long to actually have season 2. I think that kind of spoils the momentum, really.
I think it's also the best thing that Stallone has done for a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
What was that movie he done? Was it last year or the year before when it was a superhero?
Yeah, what was that one called? It was okay. It wasn't great though.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But it was just a Sylvester Stallone movie. The actual story didn't matter.
No, yeah.
Okay, so if you've not watched Tulsa King, folks, season 1, check it out. It's really good. Let's move on.
It's a marathon, that's it. It's a marathon.
Okay, British adventurer Lara Croft will transition from being a raider of tombs, to a seeker of truth as Evil Hat Productions and Crystal Dynamics seek to redefine the Tomb Raider series in order to escape its colonial past.
No, I've not read the story, so I don't know how much of this is the faithful depiction of what their intent is, and how much of it is just people looking for sort of rage bait articles on Twitter.
No, it's
but on
accurate.
the assumption it's accurate. Absolutely fundamentally missing the point that there is no contradiction between raiding the tombs and seeking the truth. That was always sort of the premise of going and finding these long lost artifacts and bringing them to light, is that they reveal something about the truth. And it's not colonial to go and find things that native people haven't bothered to dig up themselves. So fuck you and stop doing this.
the Tomb Raider. Is this? Are they talking about the computer game, or are they talking about another movie on this?
Yep.
Computer game. Yes.
Game,
So-
yeah.
All right. All right. Okay.
You know, they're not going to be happy until they've got like a series of games or a series of films where Lara Croft is going around the world putting the relics back that she's found in all the other films and apologising for Britain's colonial past as she goes.
So here's a quote from this press release. So this is directly from the website. Laura no longer decorates her mantle with mythic artifacts. As a raider, she prioritizes seeking out the truth. Much of this game is inspired by her humanity, struggle with heroism, and her tenacity. We believe that all three aspects are an important component in creating a game that celebrates history and culture while acknowledging the respect and work required to live in a world wounded by colonialism.
Oh, fuck you. All of those things have always been in Tomb Raider. Like, all of those things about Lara's character have always been there. That's one of the many reasons she's a really popular character. But you do have this weird ideological obsession with colonialism. Yet the same thing I pointed out, I think, was the Indiana Jones video. It's like, you're just looking at the actual history of like actual archaeologists and the Asiatic Society who did all of the work in uncovering the ancient Buddhist past of India, because the Indians of the time, understandably and justifiably, because they were very poor, were just destroying temples and building new houses out of the stones. Because if you're very poor, you have to make use of these things in a way that can house your people, or you can use them to build railway sleepers and things. But this is actually antithetical to the whole ambition of, uncovering the truth, because you are having to destroy the truth in order to be your growing society, your economically developing society. Tomb raiding and archaeology have always been about uncovering and preserving the truth. That is literally the point of doing this. So by trying to have Lara as this anti-colonial icon, you've basically destroyed the whole premise of archaeology in the game, which is just absolutely insane. What is going to happen to these relics if nobody, like Lara Croft, for instance, goes there and finds them and lifts them from the temple? The temple eventually decays, and then it crumbles, and then they're lost forever, and that's a service to truth, isn't it? Absolute morons.
So this is a tabletop game, if I remember correctly. But this is still licensed out by Crystal Dynamics. And there was a rumor last year that the fourth Crystal Dynamics game in the Tomb Raider franchise would have Laura taking a backseat to train other raiders, and that also she would become a lesbian.
What?
Yeah. So this isn't helping those rumors at all when this is what you're licensing your shit out
What's
to
a
do.
tabletop game?
Like a board game.
Oh,
Like Dungeons
right, okay.
and Dragons.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
Right,
Dragons,
okay.
yeah. But like with the Tomb Raider stuff, it's especially what past 2007, because I think that's when the new one started.
Christ.
It's
Right,
all in the
okay.
same universe.
Okay, right. Yeah, this popped out in my head. I've got to say it. It's a board game where she becomes a lesbian, right?
No, like the fourth video game, she will be a
All right.
lesbian.
I was wondering how you would do that. It's like you land on the wrong square, and it's like become a lesbian for 2 spins or something.
You play as a scissor piece. There you go.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
scissor.
So Lara got poisoned with some
Jeez.
toxic chemical that turned her into a lesbian. Lick rug for 2 goes.
You
Much
think
carpet.
if you are a lesbian, you're doing quite a lot of tomb raiding. I mean, that's sort of entailed, isn't it?
Well, the
Thank you,
thing is,
Manchester.
though, so when it started, obviously, she had huge boobs, didn't she? And that was one of the features
Shapely, yes.
about her, right? And even when they made the film with Angelina Jolie, they actually made a thing about that.
Yes.
The question you got to ask yourself was what was wrong with that? It's all right for James Bond to take his shirt off and to be, chiseled, but yet it's not all right for us to have a character with huge boobs.
Stop the ugly.
Do you know what I
and
mean? It
the
just
less
doesn't make any
endowed
sense to me.
ones
And then the
feeling-
last movie, she didn't have any boobs at all, did she? In the last
I like
one?
the actress they chose, but they went for someone more athletic than Kirby
Yeah,
based on the
yeah.
storyline. So like I can kind of, it wasn't a good movie, but I can still kind of respect that take. I personally don't think the new Laura Croft design is that bad. She's still fucking hot. Like I don't understand why people
Here you go,
complain about
folks.
that.
Common people. Lara Croft, womb wader. I like that.
Yeah,
Room
yeah.
raider.
Yeah, I mean, it's the far
The-
less interesting
Oh,
part of her character in a way. Is like, does she still have these giant polygons as breasts? It's way less interesting than are they actually changing the fundamentals of who she is and what she does and the type of story she's involved in. That to me is the more egregious change to the character than finding a different actress who might not look like she's been rendered in 2D shapes. That's
Yeah.
not interesting.
Ian,
Which is funny
look
because
at the.
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, look at the fucking polygons on that. Moving on.
I was just in the last in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was the last one, they actually lean into the progressive ideology a little bit more, and I don't see anybody complaining about the fact that they just completely reinvent the character in the second half of that game by turning it into like a weird pro-refugee plot. Instead of her
What?
just like looking for the truth. Yeah, that game started off amazing, and then it was like right at the halfway point where she finally like ventures into the village of like the lost people or whatever, and discovers their like nation. That it just goes straight into a refugee story, and the game tanks.
Z,
really weird.
available, please, my friend.
I most certainly am. Film Comics Explained for Australian $10. In their attempt to be progressive, they seal the legacy of Lara Croft in a tomb. I'd still want to raid her, though. Or wouldn't we all?
Ooh, matron.
I've not played video games for a while. Vex, when did video games start to get shit?
2014, I would say.
Oh, that's probably when I
or 15.
bailed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm too young. I
Around the
wasn't
same
around
time that TV and movies went the same way.
Yeah. It's just
Oh,
for
that's
some
a
reason
shame.
people are a lot slower to notice it in video games when I think the signs were more telling than film.
But
and
it's also
television.
it's more bifurcated in games though. I mean, I think though you're true, the same sort of themes and the things that are the sort of corrupting movies have absolutely made their way into games. We've also had a very, very good couple of years for games at the other end. It's a much more stark divide. You've got a number of very good games in which very little of this happens. And you've got a number of generally smaller games, but increasingly bigger games and increasingly IPs as well, which are absolutely being corrupted in this way. But with movies, it's much more of an easy picture to paint because almost every movie pushes the same messages and they're all crap for the same reasons. But like gaming at least has the advantage of being able to say, well, okay, I know we've had crap, but we've also had, say, Baldur's Gate 3, which came out last year, which was a very good game. I've got a number of others on my list that I can't remember off the top of my head, but like we had a good year as well as a bad year.
That's fair. Maybe I just caught on a bit earlier. So you see the drops a lot easier when you say follow a franchise for so long. Maybe that's all it is. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then.
In the bin.
Yay.
Get in the bin.
Is it Lizzo? Or she can't fit in the bin. Never
No,
mind.
she can't fit in the
No.
bin.
You put
Not
it
sure
over
those
her
big
head.
wheelie bins.
In the skip.
She can't even
Fits
fit
in the dumpster.
No, the
Ah.
garbage truck it would be, wouldn't it? In fact, she'd be too big for that as
The
well.
landfill. I think they just dump her straight in the landfill. There you go.
Here you go. I'm just going to do this. I like this. Get your polygons out.
Ready and waiting.
Okay, so this week's in the bin, folks. Hashtag get in the bin. Did anybody see this?
Yeah, Gene
Oh
Hackman.
yeah.
Yeah, this is it's not actually Gene Hackman. The New York Post is scum. Imagine pointing out that he's wearing the same tracksuit as the last time he was spotted. Gene Hackman is 94. Maybe he's comfortable in that tracksuit. Give the man a break.
Did you say it's not actually Gene Hackman?
It is Gene Hackman.
Oh, it is Gene Hackman.
He's just getting himself a coffee. So effectively, nobody liked the New York Post trying to belittle the legend that is Gene Hackman.
Do you know what? Right, looking at Gene Hackman in that picture, it just makes me feel sad
Yeah,
because you know, he was a powerhouse of an actor. You know,
Amazing
very,
actor.
very
Oh,
very
we all get old, Ian.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying it. Just I know we do all get old. I'm getting old. Everybody's getting old, right? But just looking at him and remembering him in the films that he's been in, it makes me feel sad that he is
Yeah.
now like this.
You know what's
do you
probably
know what I
even
mean?
sadder is if
Mm.
this were a 94-year-old female actress, nobody would be shaming her for wearing the same outfit twice in public.
Mm.
Didn't he quit acting because he was having trouble with his mental faculties?
I think so, yes.
I don't know. Was he?
I thought it was health issues.
Well,
But maybe it's
well,
under the
that-
same umbrella.
Yeah.
There are certain people that are now this age that makes me feel sad. One of them is Phil Collins. I remember seeing, you know, him on TV looking really old, and it made me just feel sad.
Yeah, his hands are
So,
fucked
yeah,
with
yeah,
arthritis with
yeah.
all the drumming.
Yeah, we're all gonna get there, I guess.
Also, he's a boozer, Phil Collins. That's
Oh,
why
is
they
he?
so want him. Yeah.
So it's the New York Post, everybody. Get in the
In
bin
the bin.
and just fucking stay in it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay. Let's move on. And yes, he's a proper legend.
He's a good actor as well.
And finally,
And finally,
Finally.
Dr. What? This is
Is
it
someone
birthday.
monitoring their heartbeat right now or something? I
yeah,
hear
who's
like
that tapping? Yeah.
Not me.
Happy, somebody's tapping. Happy 66th birthday to hashtag Peter Capaldi, born on this day, 1958, on 4th of August 2013. It was announced he would take on the role of the 12th Doctor, his lifelong dream to play the Doctor and dedicated fan most of his life. Peter excelled at playing the Doctor and is sorely missed.
Indeed.
He is. He got crappy scripts, but still, he was good as the Doctor.
Yeah, first season of his was pretty hit and miss, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, the moon is a fucking egg. Do me a
What?
favour.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
The Mummy on the Orient Express was really good though. I really liked that one. But some of them are terrible.
The moon's an egg. Everybody knows it's cheese.
Exactly.
Which is the episode where he's tunneling through the
That was
the diamond.
Hellbent.
Yeah, hell.
Fuck, that was a
Hellbent,
great
yeah.
episode.
That was
That.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It took him like 1 billion years or something to punch
That's
his way
a
through.
great episode.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that they keep saying that he's X amount years old, but he isn't now because he did that, isn't he? So I don't know how old he is now. If you took-
Billions. I think it was 2 billion
yeah, that's what I'm
at
saying.
least.
Yeah, crazy, right?
There is a super chat.
Billion.
2 of them, yes.
We need Z to say that, don't we?
Okay. There is a super chat. I've been sitting on this for a while from Mega Spider-Man for €5. Thank you, my friend. To all, fave, Doctor, and why then? Okay, so favourite Doctor, Platoon?
He doesn't like Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, I'm not probably the best person to ask on this one. I don't really know. I mean, I grew up watching David Tennant, so I'd probably say him.
Z?
Lieutenant.
Unsubbed.
I actually love Matt Smith on in the modern Doctors, but classic Tom Baker for sure.
Vex?
Never watched an episode of Doctor Who in my life.
What about Doctor House?
Nope, haven't watched House either.
Dr.
You know-
Kildare?
He would have made a good Doctor Who house.
He would have, yeah.
Yeah, he would. Yeah,
Hugh Laurie, yeah.
yeah,
would have
would
made
have
a great
Doctor.
Yeah.
Melvin?
I am with Z, Matt Smith of the new ones, and Tom Baker because Tom Baker is God.
There you go. Megiggy?
I have 3. Tom Baker,
Oh, come on, you could have one.
John Pertwee, and Matt Smith for me.
Really?
John Pertwee's the first Doctor.
John Pertwee.
that I was watching, yeah. And then obviously Tom Baker, he's amazing. And Matt Smith just blew it out of the water when he first
He
appeared.
did.
He
From
did.
the
He was
very
really
first
good.
episode, it nailed it.
Yes, he did. Yeah, totally.
I did like Tennant.
I didn't.
Tennant's
I liked
first
him,
round.
but he kept gurning all the time and shouting all the time. I'm like, okay, that's where you're playing
Perhaps.
it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Second question then. Have any of you seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? If so, what
Yes.
did you think,
once.
Melvin?
It was a very strange film, but I really enjoyed it.
Mm.
Hunter S. Thompson, about when he went to some sporting event. I don't remember what it was. He went to some sporting event and he actually
Yeah.
just got wrecked on every kind of pill you can imagine. Him and his lawyer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were all having hallucinations and things like that. It was very surreal, very strange movie, worth a watch. There was another one. There was another Hunter S. Thompson movie with Bill Murray in it called Where the Buffalo Roam, made in the early 1980s, and that was also a very strange movie. And I would recommend both, but be prepared for strangeness.
Platoon?
Sorry, what was the question?
Have you seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yes, I have. A long time ago, and I don't
what do you
remember
think?
very much about it. I remember thinking it was kind of funny. There's a bit with bats in it, I think.
There is.
That's
And I like Hunter S. Thompson, so I think if I rewatched it, I would probably like it, but it's been a long time.
Z?
Yes,
Have you seen Fear and Loathing?
I haven't.
What?
No, I haven't. My missus has watched it a couple of times. She says it's
Wow.
a good film, but
Wow.
I don't think I've actually watched it myself.
Vex?
I remember watching it once and enjoying it quite a bit, but it's been a while, so it's due for a rewatch.
Ian?
Never seen it. Never seen it. I've seen pictures.
I was
That's about it, really.
That's probably Johnny Depp's best role from what I remember.
Right. Wasn't it directed by Terry Gilliam? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a
Okay,
bit
you
mad,
hear
isn't he?
me making lots of noises. I do
Why are you
apologise.
making noises?
Because,
Because you can.
what was that?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Unopened.
Terry
There you
Gilliam.
go. Would you like to hear a semi-funny story about the movie?
Sure.
Is that when you got stoned then? Did you watch it when you were
Kind
stoned?
of. We were at Glastonbury Festival. And Glastonbury Festival used to do, or they still do, the outdoor cinema. And I think this movie had just come out. And they were showing it at the festival. And we were all tripping our bollocks off. And we were watching Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in a field on a big cinema screen. And the film snapped in half halfway through. And that was it.
What, the film? They didn't show the other half.
Yeah, because the film broke. And it
I
messed
see.
with our minds because we were tripping, obviously. But yeah, it's a good movie.
But you didn't see the other half. So,
No.
how do you know it was a
No,
good
I just
movie?
said movie's fucked. Everybody go home. But anyway,
So hold on. So
Well-
where did you see this film?
Glastonbury Festival in the middle of the field.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the strange thing is, it was so piled up that the film broke, but it still remembers the end.
Yeah, we were all just watching. We were all, well, no, I don't. We were all just watching this blank screen, thinking, "Is that it?" But anyway, okay. There is
A
another
weird
super
thing-
chat, folks. Go on.
Sorry, I'll say the weird thing. Well, I suppose a bit weird. Hunter S. Thompson killed himself, and Johnny Depp paid for his funeral, and apparently he paid $3
Really?
million for his
Mhm.
funeral
What?
because he got cremated and then he fired his ashes into the sky in a rocket and blew it up.
Oh, wow.
Christ.
Which
I remember the
is,
last time that happened to me was when I went to see Scanners, because obviously in those days it was a flea pit cinema, and and there you got bad prints and stuff. And halfway through they started speaking French, so I thought that was part of the film because they got a dud print, didn't they? And then suddenly they started,
French?
for 15 minutes they started speaking French, and then suddenly they
Oui,
started
oui, oui,
speaking.
oui.
I thought it was part of the film until I saw it on TV. I was like, "Where's that French bit?" And it obviously
So
wasn't.
it took you 15 minutes to realise.
Yeah, no, 50, because obviously they got a bad
Yeah.
print, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they halfway through it just went French for some reason.
Christ.
Yep.
Super
Yeah.
chat, if I may, folks.
Yep.
Romeo Tango November Zulu for $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, my friend. Shogun 2024 started well, but has fallen off a cliff. Key characters from the book are horribly distorted and key scenes omitted. Folk modern writers.
Question: has anyone else on this panel read the books?
yes.
Okay, so then honest question, have is it still a good adaptation even though it changes some backstories or some scenes or admit things? Like, would you still say it's a solid adaptation for TV?
Definitely.
Okay.
In the book, you get less of what's going on with the Japanese. It's more just about Blackthorn. And
Gotcha.
it kind of, they're building on showing you how isolated he is. And as he goes along, he learns Japanese. And you're kind of learning Japanese with him because he's compiling his own dictionary. And as
Okay.
he's learning, you're learning, and you just kind of go along with him like that. And it's more about Blackthorn than it is about the Japanese. In the TV series, they've give all the Japanese characters and things like that, and give some of them backstories that wasn't a thing in the book. But they've not done it badly, I don't think. But they've definitely deviated. But I don't think they've done it in a
But
bad
it
way.
works for television and it still makes for a good show.
Yeah, it was going to be a difficult one to adapt. They were going to have to make changes, and they did.
Okay.
But it works quite well for me. So
There you go.
yeah.
Amelia Bedelia. Are the slides a bit blurry or is it me?
It's your eyes,
No.
Brown.
Okay. Right.
They're fine on both YouTube and StreamYard for me.
It's you,
On
Amelia.
both?
Yeah, on
Okay.
both. Yeah.
Okay. I think that is it, folks. In fact, I know
Thank
it's
God for
it.
that.
Okay. You can tell the Lord's back because we've overrun. But
Not his
that is
fault.
it. No, it's great to have him back. This is happening in the next few weeks, folks.
What's that in? Oh, God, no.
A 12-hour movie discussion live stream,
Georgia.
Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Is it
So-
happening? Is it really happening after all this time?
May the 4th, everybody, ironically.
So I just have two questions. One
Yes.
question: what time are you starting?
Just after midday UK time.
Okay, and then my second question is Attack of I thought Attack of the Clones was a show, is it a movie?
It's a movie.
Okay, all right, that's all.
The Clone Wars is the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
Attack of
that's
the
the one I'm
Clones.
confused with. Okay.
You go, yes, 12 hours. Lord,
You
you're
can-
on for this.
You can talk
Am I?
12 hours about this?
I'm sure we'll cope. Yeah, Lord, you're going to join in?
Yeah, May the 4th.
Oh,
Be with you.
I don't
I-
like the sound of this.
No, I think I will have to check. I think I'm here. Yeah, I think I'm around. I will let you know and confirm, but I should be there.
Okay, because we've been putting this off for how long now? 6 months.
Yeah, but if it starts
A
at
year and a
that
half.
time, Ian, and nobody comes on, it'll just be you talking about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be up at midday. That's something I can definitely rule out. But I can join you later.
I think we're doing it in stints,
Shifts.
aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it in shifts.
But will StreamYard let you go for 12 hours?
It will boot us off at 12 hours. That's why it's 12 hours.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long did the Phantom Menace one take overall?
17 hours.
Yeah, we can definitely do the more complex Attack of the Clones in less time than that. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. So
How
this is
many-
going to be... Go on.
How many slides do you have?
All of them.
Frame by frame.
Like I did for Big Trouble in Little China, like you've got 140,000.
I've never ever had that many slides, so you must be doing something right. Okay.
I just let it do it on its own. That's what I had when it was finished, about
No.
143,000, I think.
Attack of the Clones.
Jesus. So this is going to happen
Didn't mind.
May the
this
4th, midday UK time, and I'm going to be presenting. Ruin Johnson, hopefully. In fact, he is. Lord, will you be able to, if you're around, present for a little while? Do a shift?
I think so. Yeah, I will need to check that I am actually around on May the 4th. But if I am, then yes.
Oh, please be around. Please be around, please.
I think I am. There's something in May I know that I have to do, but I don't think it's that weekend. So yes, pencil me in.
It's bank holidays. Is it bank holiday? It'd be bank holiday.
Oh,
Yeah, bank holiday.
good.
Weekend. Yeah. So we are probably going to find another presenter. Don't know who yet. I think Z said he probably might be doing.
Oh, I'll give it a
stint.
go.
Yeah, you give it a go, won't you? Okay. So we're going to try and get as many people to come on as guests. Try and get. Well, I'm going to reach out this week to some bigger channels. See if we can get the drinker on for a bit. See if we can get some other people, Movie Cynic, etc., etc. Maybe Mauler, perhaps Platoon. If you could put the.
I
feelers
can
out.
ask.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Saturday runs into EFAP, so he will probably be busy. But I can ask just and check.
It will be shifts, if you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
even if you just pop on for half hour, as long as we can get a schedule going, that'll be more than. I know. We're going to make it up as we go along, folks. So that's May the 4th. Be with you and all that bollocks. So that is it.
Does that mean it's going to be a 24-hour stream for Revenge of the Sith? Are we going up or down?
I think we will do that in weekly episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, wouldn't the
This was-
Acolyte be happening at around the same time?
Oh God, I can't wait. I can't
Get your teeth
wait.
into that.
I can't
Or-
wait. The Acolyte's going to be amazing.
We could do Revenge of the Sith next year on May the 4th.
Mm.
Yes, because that'll be Sunday.
So when are we going to
Yes.
finish Star Trek 6 then?
I,
And we've got to try and finish that between now and May the 4th.
Forever?
So
What
that
was-
is it, folks. Convex, last comment.
Just a quick question. What was the worst Star Wars movie? Was that Return of the Jedi? Not Return of the
No,
Jedi.
No.
The Last Jedi is
Last
yes. Oh, Rise of Skywalker on the technical level, Last Jedi on everything else level.
Yeah.
But if we discount the sequels, the worst one is probably Phantom Menace.
yeah.
Are
I
you
would
ever
agree
going to
there.
review one of the shitty ones for 12 hours? Out of
No.
curiosity?
What,
No?
Any of the Disney
we've done
trilogy? No. Definitely.
All right.
Anyway, on that bombshell. Chat, you are wonderful. Really great numbers this evening, courtesy of the Lord. So,
What?
if you could. Yeah,
Sorry.
the Lord did his live stream.
Oh, did
So
he?
yeah, he
So
did
people came
bit,
to see
bit,
the Lord,
Bit of a
did they?
raid, yes. Bit of a raid, yes.
Really?
So I
What's
will.
special about the Lord?
It's the Lord, isn't it? So I will say, kindly leave a comment after the stream. It helps the algorithm, folks. So Chat, you are wonderful. Appreciate the super chats. The
Wait a moment. The Lord is on right now. 1.6 is watching.
Wait, what?
In two places at the same time. I don't
I don't think
understand.
I don't. Pretty
Refresh.
sure I'm not on right now. I hope I'm not. Otherwise, something's gone wrong.
Maggie doing his
Yeah,
best
you
to
are right
derail.
now. Godzilla.
Oh no, that finished
Prime
ages ago.
Pole.
That finished like 4 hours ago.
But it's saying it's playing now. Oh.
Well, it might be
Refresh your
playing, but
YouTube.
it's refresh
Boomer!
page.
Christ. What a boomer.
I was like, how can it be in two places at the same time?
Oh, he's a lord. He
Give
can
me a
do
panic
special
attack
things.
there. So I accidentally hit a button and I've been live accidentally the whole time. People just
Okay. So,
Interesting.
chat, you are wonderful. We'll see you next time, chats. I will thank the guest. Yeah, Mega Geek is boomering. Yeah. Okay. Vex Electronica. Cheers, Vex.
Thank you for having me on. Always
Great
fun.
to have you on. Melvin Deeply. Cheers, Melvin.
No bother.
I will alter Boomer. Little Platoon. Cheers, Lord. Great to have you back.
good to be back and always a pleasure.
Z3PO. Cheers, Z.
Yeah.
You're
Bless you.
very welcome.
And last but by no means least, old Boomer himself, the Mega Geek, Ian David Diaz. Cheers, Ian.
Yep, no worries, guys. No worries.
That is it, folks. I hopefully, if I've not jinxed it, beast up tomorrow, Lord.
I believe so. I will check and confirm.
Who's on that then? Do you
Oh,
know?
knows? No
Cynic.
idea.
No idea. Okay.
Cynic, he'll be on.
Yeah, Cynic will be on.
So
Is he
that's
going to be
Beast.
sober?
Who knows?
No idea.
Probably.
That's beasts up tomorrow, folks. Tuesday, I think Echo Chamberlain's doing his gig. We're back Wednesday. Back at the weekend. So that is it, folks. If we don't see you during the week, have a great week. Take care, everybody. Tally bye. Tally bye.
Bye.
Timing.